We are live here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda. I'm Chief Alchemist here at Plus One EXP, and we are a weird little brand that multi-classes in tabletop game design, beard and skincare alchemy, and the Bardic College of Content Creation. As always, our hope and desire is to help amazing designers find great players who love their games and help amazing players find great designers whose games they can love. And the most fun way we do that is sitting down with those designers to play their games. Tonight, we are going to be diving into the water. I keep on saying diving into and then trying to figure out where my wordplay is going to take me, and it can't take me anywhere because the RPG we're playing is called Dive. It is powered by Motherships Panic Engine, and I'm going to hand it over to the creator, the man themselves, one of my good friends, Jeremy, to tell us a little bit about who he is, what he does, and a little bit more about Dive. Jeremy, tell people who you are and what we're going to be playing tonight.
So, I am Jeremy. I am the owner at the one-person business called Gordonite Games. Last year, I made a book called Gordonite, and this year, I'm making a book called Dive, which is what we're playing tonight, and also another book called From the Deepest Trenches. But you'll get to see some more of that whenever the Kickstarter goes live on February 1st. Sick, yeah, that's it. Good old Gordonak.
So tell us about
not a zine.
Not a zine. Tell us about Dive.
Dive is an aquatic horror tool set, if you will, to be used with Mothership. It's made to emulate things like the Abyss, Deep Blue Sea, Underwater, Jaws, Piranha, Lake Placid, whatever kind of aquatic shit you want to play, right? Yeah, that's where I've got my inspiration from. We've got new boats to be used, submarines. We've got an additional, not an alternate, because you panic on this table, in addition to when you're underwater. So there's a lot of new goodies and stuff like that. And a lot of aquatic scariness.
All panic all the time. I'm looking forward to dying horribly beneath the waves. But let's meet some of the people we're going to be dying with. Down there in the dark, we've got Jert. Jert, tell people who you are, what you do. They can't find you online, but if they could, where that would be.
Hi, I'm Jert, and I help people make games, and I hang out with Tony sometimes on his show once a month on Fridays, where we talk about goofy stuff and give away scratch and dip books from Exalted Funeral. I also am going to be editing Dive, so this is me like sneaking in and just being like, Jeremy, this is horrible, fix it now, it's such shit, it's crap.
It's a live dev editing session.
That's right.
I like how you gave the sketchiest definition of what we do on Funeral Fridays that you possibly could have. We sell scratch and dent books out of the back of a car on the side of the New Jersey Turnpike.
Do what you know. I live it. I live what I know, man. I live it.
And we have a new player join us tonight for the first time. I'm super excited to have them with us. They came in with maybe more professional energy than anybody has ever come into my DMs as we were getting ready for this game. It's Pearl. Pearl, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online. Also, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to playing Dive again because me and Jeremy, actually, we initially met up at Galgoricon 2021. Wonderful experience. And I'm just kind of entering the gaming space, so I don't have a lot of that behind me, but you can find me on Twitter at PearlSnap. That's also going to be where you can find me on Itch, where I've released just sort of my first prototype, which is called Problem Passenger, with my friend Bones. It is just a little game about gremlins causing mischief, but I am looking forward to tonight, and thank you all for having me again.
Love it. Florida Man 666 says they really want us to be emulating C Lab 2020 as we go through tonight. So we'll see if we can.
I
we can
keep
make that
seeing
happen.
Florida Man 666, and I want to promise everybody that it's not me. Right?
I don't believe you. In all
Jeremy.
honesty, I always assume it is you.
I want to promise everybody that it's not me. I wish I knew who it was. I think I know who
I've
it is.
never seen you and Florida Man 666 or 666 Man at the same time. I don't believe you.
Listen, it's hard to even convince myself that it's not like a secret window type situation where it's actually me.
Like you have some sort of fractured personality and you pre-programmed
exactly.
these responses the night before.
Exactly. Yeah.
We are always use lines and veils here on the channel or other safety tools to make sure our game stays on track and make sure everybody's comfortable playing. It's especially important in a game like Mothership that uses tools like sanity and fear to make sure that everybody's respectful and kind of stays on the same page with what people are comfortable with. With that said, lines, veils, and the X card are our default, and so we're going to use those tonight. We've got a strong line against sexual violence on the channel. We've also talked about this in advance, giving people the opportunity to share things privately with the GM if they need to, and I think we ended up with a great list of things that we are not doing. A lot of the standards that we look at here on stream, and I'm really trying to scroll around to find them. But does anybody have any lines or veils that we haven't already discussed that they want to add to the list that they maybe thought of in the last little bit?
I'll go ahead and give a trigger warning for the viewers. There might be intense scenes of gore, violence, fear, and hopefully tastefully handled. But because of the panic engine and everything like that, there is, some people might have issues with like the mental health aspect that goes along with that.
Good. It's a good one to bring up. We also we have an open door policy also, and again we use the X card, so that's the ability for anybody at any point that they want to pause the game if there's confusion, if there's concern, if there's an issue of something they find objectionable. They just need to identify what it is. They don't have to explain it, and we'll move forward in a different direction. Though we might add a new line or veil if people want to also too, but we'll try to just excise that content totally from play. Other thing to remember is if you are uncomfortable with something, it's okay to turn things off. Like, that's okay. We've got an open door policy. So if you see people have to get up, move away, walk away, take a drink, do other stuff like that, they can do that. You can do that at home also too. Take care of yourself, please. With that said, I'm going to hand things over to Jeremy to take us beneath the waves in Dive.
All right. Excellent. So all of you have been commissioned either directly by Drill Corp or by the Champlain. The Champlain is probably I'd say it's 100. It's like it's a large boat, so it's probably like 100 foot. Normally used for like research or transporting people from oil rig from the oil rig to home and things like that, right? The Captain Jacques Bernard, your brash captain, does well to pilot the boat and do everything that needs to be done. Like I said, it's a large boat, so there is some crew, but right now you guys are on a skeleton crew, the absolute minimum that it takes to run the boat. And you have been commissioned, like I said, to reestablish communication with Jill Corp platform number 246 or Perdido. They ascertain that the likely cause is some sort of radio tower issue, and they've outfitted the boat with enough supplies to kind of take care of any of that. Any kind of radio issue. We'll go ahead and get some dice rolling and flowing real quick just to get started. As you all are heading towards Perdido, maybe looking at the dossier or whatever the dossier. thinking about like some of your knowledge, can I get an intellect, just an intellect roll from everybody? And that's gonna be a D100, 0 being the lowest and 99 being the highest.
So yeah, it's a big old fail for Sailor Barry over here. He just scratches his head. Oh.
Got a 94.
I rolled 2 percentile dice, and they're not even, and they're the same color.
Are they the same color? Okay.
I don't even know what I rolled. I rolled either an 840 or a 480. Either way, that is not a success.
Okay. So as you all are thinking about it, it's just another drill core platform or whatever to all of you. Just, you're not familiar with all of them. There's hundreds or thousands of them in the Gulf of Mexico where you all are located. The closest shore town, I don't know what it would be, but it's somewhere in Texas, right? But real quick, let's introduce our characters, get to know them. As you're on the Champlain, maybe tell us what your role is on the boat. Also, just a never mind. I'm not gonna go here. But so yeah, all of you. We'll just start from my top left or whatever. So that's Tony. Tony, introduce your character and what is he doing on the Champlain?
I go by Bartholomew Metric. That's because that's my name. Most people just call me Metric. And it's very unclear what Metric's job is on the ship. He's classified as a consultant, and I think most people like who encounter him, like if we did a quick kind of set of scenes to establish it, it would be those moments where all of a sudden he is coming out of a door, and it just strikes everybody as like, why was he in that room? And or they come into somewhere and he's already there doing something, and they're like, why was he here first? That's very much the speed of Metric. He has like the bearing of an ex-military type. Takes very good care of himself. Very in shape, and has has an eagle wing tattoo on his forearm that kind of comes down towards his hand.
Nice. And that's one of the plans too. So we're doing I didn't have it available for you guys yet, right? But instead of the patches, we're doing D100 tattoos for Dive, right? So there's going to be lots of there'll be that like extra layer of like nautical star. Like I got a nautical star, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
a big fan. For Through the Void, we're gonna have Adam Voss do a flash sheet of space tattoos for
hell yeah,
for us.
Good
and
idea.
So yeah,
yoink, stolen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. If you flash sheet stretch goals are one of my new favorite stretch goals that there are.
Well, we'll need to talk because I also somebody sent me a link for custom temporary tattoos.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Put them all over
Anyway, Pearl, who is your character?
So as Metric comes out the door, I catch a glance of him and wonder what was he doing in there. And who is that that's asking? That is Dr. Edie Bliss. I am a researcher who is dispatched by DroCorp to any outsites, any outages, anything that might be liability. I am always dispatched as part of a lawsuit that was closed. So I have to be on site for any kind of unique activity like that, just to assess liability.
All right, nice, perfect. So we've got Metric and Evie Bliss. Jarrett, what is your character doing on the Champlain on the way to?
One second. Pearl, was it Edie or Evie?
Edie. Edie.
I spelled it right when I wrote it down.
I got it wrong.
I am portraying Sailor Barry, directly inspired by Barry from Archer. Yeah, just the name anyway. And Sailor Jerry Rum. Hey, I don't drink anymore. I can play characters named after alcoholic beverages. is. Sailor Barry has worked with Captain Jacques before many a times, shipped out from San Jacinto, which is the closest town, if you were wondering, to where we're going from. I don't know if it's a real fact geographically, but in this world it is now. And
ambiguous.
Yeah, Barry's just a normal, regular, average, everyday, good old boy. He's up for whatever. It's just a job. Probably like mid-30s. So, and he wears a red hat. That's all I got.
Can I add in a small note?
Yeah.
So I totally forgot you had written Sailor Barry, and my character's name is first name is Barry also, because the later reveal that his name is Barry Metric was going to be a big thing, way. And I totally forgot you named your guy Sailor Barry.
I was going the same way too. I was saving that for an end, like when I'm getting killed. You won't take barometric out, I guess. Wow.
How creative.
Same
How original of you all to. So
Jeremy, you're not allowed to come to my house anymore.
All right, watch me just show up. I know where it is. Metric, Edie, and Sailor Barry are all somewhere on the boat. As the crew of the Champlain near Perdido, the sky becomes dark. The waves begin to churn and lightning begins to strike. Captain Bernard is doing well to keep the boat from capsizing, but it's absolutely completely what is it? It's like it's near the limits of like needing or near the limits of capsizing, and the inside is just being tossed around. Anything that's not bolted down or anything like that is just being thrown from end to end. So with that being said, where is everybody on the boat? You don't have to know where, are you in the bunk area, or would you be on the bridge with the captain? Where are you?
Let's go reverse order. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm just going to be in the bunk area. I've got no business elsewhere, so I'm going to try to keep myself from being seasick. Right. I take some of my motion sickness pills.
Yeah, and it's getting crazy. So if there's I'm sure that in I guess I haven't done this research, but I imagine that the bunks are fastened to the walls so that they're not sliding around and shit like that, right? I've done every other stupid kind of research that you could imagine, but not the furniture. I haven't done enough furniture research. So you're in the bunks, just kind of hanging on, literally just going up and down. You're feeling like sometimes you're feeling like you're nearly upside down, as the waves are nearly vertical. Jert, what are you doing? Where are you at?
Well, Sailor Barry is a sailor, and the sailing life's for me. So he's up on the main deck, right. Totally doing the smart sailor thing, and wearing his big yellow coat and galoshes, and just getting totally just sprayed. Ooh.
Yeah, awesome. So we'll deal with both of you in just a second, and then what is Metric doing?
Yeah, on the back of a boat, there's a big piece of luggage that Metric brought that he goes out to check sometimes. No one else is allowed near it. He's got a guy named Jib out there helping him with it. Lightning's flashing around them, and all of a sudden you can't this is silhouetted by the lightning, and they're yelling, but you can't hear what they're saying. There's an obvious argument, and then all of a sudden, Metric stumbles into Jib, and all of a sudden the next thing we see is him just flying overboard into the dark waters below.
All right, so
Metric went overboard?
Well, we'll see here in a second, right?
No, Jib does for sure. I'll let the GM tell me what kind of dumb shit I've gotten myself into, though.
We'll see. We'll see here in just a moment. So everybody needs to give me body saves, all of which are some of which are different consequences than others, right? The two people who are on the deck are saving to not be swept over, right? And then Edie is saving so as to be able to hang on to the bunk.
How do I burn luck in this game? No, I'm just kidding. I rolled a 24. I'm fine.
I was gonna say, since I'm a sailor and the sailing life's for me, may I have situational advantage, right? Right?
Yeah, I will. Well, I was going to say you can add, instead of that, I'll allow you to add your sailing to your save.
Okay.
Your sailing
Do
skill
I
to
have
your
sailing?
save.
Is that like a default? I didn't read
I think that's a default. I should know it right offhand, but I don't.
Nope, it's not. It is now.
Feels like something the sailor should have. It seems like that's a good editor. That's a good editor's note for later.
I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's not.
Fail. I'm gonna make a note. I'm just gonna put a big check mark. Jeremy fail. Check Jeremy fail.
Yeah, but you can add sailing to.
Sweet. I'd probably start with 10. Right, 10%. It's at least trained.
Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, I mean, I passed 37 under 50. So
nice. So both Metric and Barry. So both Metric and Barry are able to hang on as the waves just fucking beat the shit out of the Champlain. You're watching these massive fucking water walls you rise up and then you zoom down the next one as if on some sort of like fucked up extremely large roller coaster ride. Also, I wonder, next time I'm on, can we get like a F word counter to see if I'm
how many you do?
If I'm the winner of that, like
see if we get the most F bombs ever. Sure.
If I'm the one who am. Anyway,
I'll work it out.
I can't help it, guys. I swear when I'm nervous.
I'll just set it to infinity, and then we'll just see how close we get.
So, Edie, was your?
I failed my check.
You failed. All right,
Yeah.
so you take 1 damage, as well as 1 stress, as you're thrown from your bunk. Could you just describe that moment for us real quick?
So I am down in the bunk. I've taken my motion sickness pills, and I'm trying to get my sea legs, which I do not have. And I'm realizing maybe, again, for like the 50th time, that maybe I took the wrong job. And as I'm having that realization, I lose my footing and crack my head against the side of the wall.
Excellent. So the storm starts to calm down, but I don't know. I guess so. Celine Auclair, she's the ship's engineer. She's the ship's lead engineer. And she gets on the comms, and she's speaking to Jacques, but you all are privy to the conversation. And she's screaming. She's screaming about, and she's saying, "We've lost the fuel. All of the fuel is gone." And I guess during the storm, the fuel had like leaked out of the ship or something like that. Like something had come loose, and then I guess Barry and Metric.
It's gonna be great all day long. It's gonna be even better than we dreamed of it being.
Oh my god! So I have a strict fucking no joke name rule.
I want to point out. My character's name is Bartholomew Metric. His character's name is Barry. It is not our fault that our powers combined have made this amazing.
So both Barry and Metric, as it's starting to calm down, see Perdido in the distance. The first thing that you notice about Perdido is that it looks like half of it is underwater. Not tilted like underwater, like the water levels have risen to be like it's like a 2 or 3 level oil rig platform. Here, can I just share my screen, or would that would fuck everything up?
You can share your screen.
Here, I'll just send you it. I'll just send it in a. I'll send it.
I have a way to show things to everyone. So if you want the audience to see things, that's what easy to do. Drop it in Discord for everybody else, and I'll open it up so the audience can see it.
Let's see. Can I copy the image? Anyway, I don't know. Just Google Perdido. It's real. It's a real place in the Gulf of Mexico. But instead of that like nice, like functional looking oil rig, you see one that's like half submerged. The whole 2 bottom layers are submerged. And it looks like it's about 100 fucking years old. So Jacques Bernard maneuvers the Champlain up to the edge of the platform. Some of the other crew members and maybe Barry secure it to something that they can tie off to it, and it's something non-conventional, right? Actually, you guys just describe it to me. Captain Bernard is like ordering you guys to tie off to something, anything, right? What is this? What is it like?
Sounds like sailor work to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably like a big old strut that's like all stripped out and ripped out, and I'm relaying info down the line to my other fellow sailors that oh man, Daniel, that hole over there in the fuel tank, that's massive. I mean, it is a massive fuel hole. Like, I don't think we're getting back unless we find some sort of reserves.
And whenever you articulate that over the comms, Bernard says, "I don't care how old this place is. There's got to be something somewhere." And if you guys aren't familiar, these oil platforms aren't really where the drilling takes place. The oil is actually pumped from these crazy, like these oil fields that can be like super far away from there. And actually, they actually do refine some of the oil on site to some of these places, and so there might be some diesel, like diesel on the ship,
on the platform,
or on the.
Cool. Oh, did we lose Jeremy?
It's Florida, man.
Florida, man.
That's
That's all right. I'm sure it'll be back. I did find Perdido oil platform. I'm going to pop it up. It's going to be a very, very pretty image. Probably not at all what we're trying to evoke here.
Right.
But I'll put it in our chat also. All right. While he's gone, Jert, have you gotten a chance to look at? You're the editor on it, right? On the project. We're all going to be in weird places for a minute. You're the editor on the project, right, Jert?
I am indeed.
Have you gotten a chance to look through it yet at all? Or are we still pre Jert peaks?
No, Jeremy and I have talked about it. We've gone through, worked over. He's got a really solid outline on it. Development, like you said, he's just doing a ton of research for all those underwater things. Yeah, classes are all coming along. Skills are getting there. It's been like 2 weeks.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, it's looking good. It's feeling good.
All right. I don't know what just happened.
Oh, we just talked shit on you while you were gone.
You're good. We just vamped for you. It's cool.
All right. Sorry about no idea what happened to my internet. I was just disconnected completely. Oh, nice. That image of.
Yeah, I figured this is probably a little
real.
bit calmer than you maybe were going for, but it's a pretty picture.
Why is my internet so fucking slow right now? All right. Anyway, of course, you know, the internet there's only internet problems whenever
Whenever you're
you
on a
need them
stream.
to not. Yeah. So what I was trying to say, what was the last thing that came through for you guys?
There's probably some diesel on the platform if we can get up there.
Fuck.
Oh, he's stalling out again.
Okay. Yep. Happening again.
It's all right.
Anyway, so probably some diesel. Jock Bernard says, and then on the other side of the platform, you can see, and Barry would know the model. It's a Lightning 45. It's the boat that I shared on my Twitter recently. And it's like fully equipped. You can see all these like harpoon guns and shit like that. But it's just kind of fucking haphazardly tied on the other side, like you all are, and just you don't see anybody on the deck or anything like that. Like, and it's not an extremely large boat. So like, if there was a lot of people on it, you would see somebody, right?
Cool. But another boat is here no matter what. It's pulled.
Yeah.
On.
And just to like get a distance, we'll say that is probably like about a football field, or a little less than a football field away. I think that Perdido looks like it. Yeah. So yeah, 100 yards or so across the platform from you all is another boat tied. Also, you can see that there are some. You can access a lot of the like the hab units and stuff like that from here, and it looks like you can get into like the admin and stuff like that. It just everything else is underwater.
Cool.
Barry asked the captain, "Hey, Captain, do you think we should go over there? You see that 45 over there? You think we should go over there, secure that? We might be able to use it, get out of here."
Bernard says, "Yeah, I'm trying to take care of the injured from the storm. Absolutely, please go and check out that 45 and see if we can find any fuel. Celine, can you please try to patch the hole in the fuel?" And he starts giving out orders to the rest of the crew as well.
All right, by this point, I've made my way back up from the cabin and kind of recovered myself. Are we secured to the rig?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to go check out and see if we can find any of the refined fuel, to see if we can find some kind of materials to like kind of like, I've got jury rigging, so like something that we can put together to siphon any oil out. And any piece of that might help us, patch the boat.
Yeah. So go ahead and so I think that it's pretty non-consequential to say that the equipment that you would need to siphon fuel, albeit old, right, would be readily available on this rig, right, and it wouldn't be hard to find, and your knowledge of drill corp and stuff like that would be sufficient to, because maybe you've been to a similar platform or something like that, right? That, like I said, there's hundreds of these things. This just happens to be one of the older ones, and one of the deepest. It has the deepest waters and shit like that.
This is what would be called by Drill Corp a high risk platform.
Yeah.
Metric has been mostly walking around, like repeating the captain's orders right behind him, like just like, yeah, do that, like general good consulting work, right? As a consultant, you got to make sure whatever the boss is telling people to do, you just say it, slightly softer and a little bit to the left. And but makes his way over onto the platform also to the auspice of helping the good doctor to locate this equipment and get things moving. So I move over also.
So you pass up the hab unit, and you go into the admin to, I guess, to look for the like a map or some shit like that, right? There's various gauges and things like that, and despite the fact that the rig is old and rusted and really looks like it hasn't been in like being used, it looks like some of the gauges are broken and some of them are working though. And you notice one of them um, is like it says like a diesel, and it has tank 1, tank 2. Most of them are empty, right? But tank 5 seems like it's full. You start to look around to see if there's any kind of indication of where that could be, but it looks like it's 2 layers down, underneath of the water.
And is there a elevator down? Like, is it an underwater?
No.
Is there an underwater superstructure, or is this like you got to dive down and let this back up?
This is like, yeah, like you have to figure out a way to get the fuel out of a tank that's underwater and into your boat that's above the water.
Excellent. Metrics time, both in the air and below the sea, is not well documented, but it does exist in both capacities. He has a dive suit on the, like, not a like a crazy extensive one, not like deep pressure, but he's got a good basic dive suit back on the boat. So after kind of he and the doctor go over and see that there's this diesel available, he'll offer to dive down and see if it's something that we can easily get up and go get his suit on.
Absolutely. But as you all are kind of getting this together and starting to respectfully dive into the depths underneath of the top platform, the hab unit door, maybe it was kind of creaked, like half open. Maybe it wasn't. I'm not sure if it was like that whenever you got there, but one of you, it doesn't matter who, here's like a slight like tapping from further inside.
Did you hear that light tapping from further inside?
I wonder if that's where it wanted.
I did. I heard that light tapping.
It sounded like it was further
I
inside.
turned my head slowly, methodically, like I just didn't hear that sound as the creak comes up.
So you open the bulkhead door, and behind the rusted bulkhead door, you see a short corridor with several doors on either side. It looks like it terminates into a mess hall or something like that. If you have a flashlight or something, maybe you're kind of. And again, it's completely dark. There's no lights are on inside of here, but you hear like a repetitive rapping on a metal door inside
I
of this.
immediately look for a flashlight in that admin room.
Let's just, whatever your lowest stat is, roll that. Is there a scavenging? Also, did we have that?
Yeah, scavenge is on there. I have scavenge.
Yeah, roll scavenging instead.
Oh no, I have my overly large impractical knife that's good for stabbing. It has a flashlight on the other end.
Also, I
It's
would
a
say
known
too,
feature.
like I feel like you would. It's the water. It's dark enough, like outside, to have one and a flashlight, so you can just have one anyway. No need to roll for that. But yeah, you hear a tapping on. Like if there's three doors on the left and 3 doors on the right. You hear it from the you hear it from the third door on the left.
I'm like tapping my knife against the metal of the wall as we move closer to it to see how it reacts.
It literally just keeps doing the same thing.
Okay. that lulls me either into a real or false sense of security, one of the two. Like in my mind, I'm the scariest thing on this deck, and if it doesn't respond to me, then it's probably just like a mouse or something.
Yeah, it's probably just a mouse or
Probably
something.
just a mouse.
Yeah, in fact, he is the scariest thing in this deck because when he starts to do that, I stop where I'm at and I'm just gonna let him move forward.
So you tap until you get to the third door on the left. Further on, you can see this kind of sullied mess hall, completely destroyed, cans of food, things like that strewn about. That grabs your attention for only a moment as it returns to the like where do I tap? Let's see. Does that
That works? Yeah.
yeah.
And so like I take my knife, my big impractical knife, with a flashlight in the back end of it, as I've established in canon at this point.
So once you're
very
stabbing,
impractical.
the flashlight just flashes you in the
lights
eyes.
me up. It doesn't make any sense. This is not how you'd want it. Like on a gun, this would make sense. On a knife, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh
like,
wait, hold on. Wait, is the I was imagining it is the if the lighter is the knife coming out here,
right.
does the flashlight come out?
Yeah, you see the thing that would make sense
So
if it went along the blade, it doesn't. It's one end or the other.
Okay,
It's
that's what
not well thought out.
Okay, yeah.
If it was a gun, it would make like it's not like it was with a gun where the Herdy end has the flashlight on it. It's the opposite.
The other way.
It's special custom made also too.
Nice.
So I flip it. I flip it. I like take it and like I've got the blade of the knife along my arm, which this I guess does kind of make sense if you actually want a knife fight with something. I'm gonna write this down as an idea to patent later on. Hold on. Anyways, I slowly use the flashlight and to move the door open.
So as soon as you crack the because you have to turn the knob, right, as you do this, right? So it's not just
if it's not propped open, then we get the big squeaky turn first.
Sure. So you do this big squeaky turn, and as soon as that clunks through, that tapping, it goes tap before it's open, and then the next tap pushes it completely open. Inside, you see this completely destroyed bunk room. The soiled sheets. It smells immediately of rotting flesh. And you see what initially looks like two people standing single file. But upon further examination, it looks like two people standing single file, but there's a harpoon through both of them, and they're missing opposite limbs, right? So the one of them, the one in front's missing its left arm, and the one in back is missing its right arm. Give me a body save to actually no. Don't give me a body save. I'm going to make an attack against you to accidentally skewer you with the harpoon that's skewering them. And I somehow failed.
Good.
So so
I'm a fan of you failing here.
These two dismembered men skewered on a harpoon start to like clamor at Metric, right? Trying to get to him. He needs to do something or he is going to get got. What is he going to do?
Sorry, one more time. They are falling towards me or grabbing at me.
So they've already kind of like fallen out the door.
Okay.
And now they're like trying to grab you. You almost got skewered by the
cool.
the harpoon.
Yeah.
Also everybody needs to give me a sanity roll because it doesn't make sense that these people are alive.
I mean, I don't know if Barry's around or not.
Barry already split the party and had headed over to go secure that escape boat because Barry's not dumb.
Actually, and that's perfect. So hold on to your panic rolls, and then we'll come back to that. And so over on the Lightning 45, which these things are fucking slick, dude. They have it's got harpoons all over it. Immediately, Barry, you notice that there is no harpoons at all on the fucking boat, right? Even despite all of the harpoon guns, there's none. The smell of rotting fish pervades the air on the boat. Hunks of some sort of rotten meat litter the main deck. And again, and there's machine guns, but it looks like those are all the ammo is gone from those as well. You go below deck, and you can hear like some sort of rustling from further inside, but it's unclear what it could be.
Of course, I yell out, "Hey, Perdido crew, any of y'all out there? I know there's thousands of you live out here on this platform. Where y'all at?"
And it sounds almost as if like you've startled an animal or something like that, and but it's still coming from the bunk. You get a little bit closer, and you can see what looks like somebody under a blanket, just shaking.
Hey there, you all right? And I've I've got what do I got? I got a baton stick. I'm a sailor. Let's see.
You're gonna have a knife on you. You're not gonna have a knife on you.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have small arms too, like a smaller firearm. I might have small arms too. Barry has small arms.
They call him Sailor T-Rex Barry.
No, I meant like a sidearm.
I'm totally okay with that. I mean,
is there anything nearby I could pick up to kind of
sure,
the
broomstick
or sheet? Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I lean back a little bit, poke and prod. Barry's he's not fearless, but he's been around weird shit here and there.
So you lift up the sheet or the blanket, right? And a large man screams in your face, jump scare style. Give me a fear roll, and then we're gonna go back to Pearl and we'll go back to Pearl and Tony.
That's a success.
Just hang on to it. Hang on to your fear roll. All right, back in the hab unit. Back in the hab unit, you all were trying to cope with the fact that two nearly dismembered men skewered on a harpoon are trying to attack you.
And you said sanity, not fear for us?
Sanity, because this is the first time you've ever seen a zombie.
Did you know?
So I on this roll, and I was actually I was back in the hallway before we proceeded down this way. So I've seen Barry Metric walk down this long hallway and give the big creaky turn and open this door, and now I'm just seeing these things push out into the hallway, and I am not meant for this. I don't have small arms. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And I shut the door that's in front of me, and I immediately look for a fire extinguisher or something that I could use.
What do you? I'm sure there's a fire extinguisher nearby. I bet it's on the other side of the door that you just closed in front of yourself.
That I'm on the other side of also, right?
Yeah.
Well, I do.
Also, did you guys pass your sanity rolls?
Yes.
Here's my question. Okay. There's zombies, so I have two things I want to check here that matter. Does my military training or my cryptozoology help?
I think so. So here's the thing. I think cryptozoology, because I've thought about this previously, right? I think it doesn't quite apply to the zombies, right? Like, so I don't think so.
I mean,
This
I
is
would
They better
argue,
go into pop culture.
I would
I'm-
argue that cryptozoology should theoretically give a better awareness of weird
Of
things
zombies.
like zombies.
Did you fail your sanity check?
It does
And
matter.
that's-
It does
and that-
matter in this
and that's what's
situation
happening?
whether
So-
cryptozoology applies or not.
So, those of you that failed, including, but not limited to, right? We won't, we won't single anybody out here, but including, but not limited to, Bart metric. You take 1 stress from not being able to cope with the fact that these things exist.
Okay, and stress mechanics, now that we're playing with Mothership 1E, or just generally, because people may not even know that there's a difference, how does stress mechanics work in this game?
So what's going to happen is as we see more scary and mind-bending things, we're going to accumulate stress, as well as just things like accumulating any kind of damage or anything like that. That's stressful. You'll gain damage. Not passing a save at a critical moment, that's stressful. You'll gain stress. What this does is as you gain stress, is it makes it more likely to panic.
Okay.
And panicking is in this game is simulated by rolling and then checking your roll versus a panic table. And on that panic table, it goes from as far as getting laser focus from the panic and just kind of stealing yourself to essentially having a heart attack and dying. Right. So it goes from extreme. And again, in dive, what we've done is if you're underwater, whenever that happens, you get more effects, not different effects.
More effects. Because
effects.
it's one thing to freak out when you're on land, and it's another thing to freak out when you're underwater.
Exactly.
I get you.
Exactly. So so you gain 1 stress as you fail to cope with the
And when do I need to worry about making a panic roll? Just whenever the GM tells me, or is there a trigger?
I have always just did it whenever the fuck I feel like it, right? But some people I have run into people that do exist that don't like that. They would rather do it on critical fails, and I can't remember.
I wonder if anybody with extensive experience with the Mothership rule set on stream, is there a definitive rules answer for that, or is it just however people want to play it at the table?
Yeah.
Jared, I'm putting you on the spot. Anybody who doesn't know this, Jarrett's the line editor for Mothership, so I'm putting him on the spot.
No, you can. It's I mean, that's one of the big core concepts behind Mothership is what works for your table.
Cool.
It's always good to do that at session 0 or first session. Be like, hey, I want to kind of handle it this way.
No, I love that.
Me personally, I'm with Jeremy. Just kind of whenever
when the GM thinks it makes sense.
I do it whenever it's thematically fun. I think
that's great. I love that. So I just was curious because I play Mothership, but not as much as some other.
But again, some people like to trigger it at like critical fails and stuff like that. Critical fails of saves and stuff like that. Which is fine. I've played it either way. Both ways is fun.
Okay.
So you gain 1 stress as you fail to cope. Edie had run out of the room in order to run out of the corridor to get away from these things. The door is now closed between you two. You have to do something right now, Tony, or you're going to get got.
Oh, my big impractical knife. I stab one of those things in the head with it.
All right, roll your attack.
Like, my mom didn't raise a fool. Does my military training matter? It doesn't matter. I rolled a 15.
Yeah, it does.
This time, right?
It does help.
I stab the nearest head to me. GM's choice. with my big impractical knife.
All right. So I'm actually counting them as kind of never mind. Anyway, roll your damage. It's 1d5 plus hits, I believe. So
1d5 plus hits?
Plus wounds.
Plus wounds?
Yeah, so how many wounds you have? You're a hunter, so I think you have 3 wounds.
I'm a hunter, so right? I have 3 wounds.
So it's 1d5 plus 3.
Okay, so using half of a d10, that's going to be 4 plus my wounds is 3, so 7.
All right. You're doing awesome. Sorry.
This thing has 76 health.
Maybe more than that. All right. So 7. So it is still quite intact as it, but not quite intact because it's partially dismembered. It's still coming after you.
Sure.
As you're still right.
Yeah, doors closed behind me, so I don't have a choice here, really.
And we'll hold there for a moment. Go back to the lightning 45. Did Edie make it? Did Edie yell or anything like that whenever she got outside of the hab unit? Because it would be able to be heard.
What she did very specifically was she immediately walked right out of that room and closed that door.
Yeah.
And then had a freak out moment. But she's going to proceed to open that door back up in order to try to get something to get Metric out.
Well, I guess what I was, did you yell or anything like that?
I probably was really expletive, but I don't think I was yelling for help. I was more what the fuck?
Okay, so I'm just asking. What I'm asking is just because you might be able to hear something like that from the Lightning 45, but at the Lightning 45, Jert, did you pass your you passed your fear save, right?
Oh yeah, I sure did. I'm very skilled at flipping over. It smells gross in here and stuff, and I've been on enough boats in my life. I've found a body here and there. You know what I'm saying?
So
caught in nets.
So this very large man, screams whenever you lift up the blanket, and
that actually grossed me out for you.
And then he kind of retreats back into the corner of the bunk, and he starts shaking back and forth, and he's like, it's too much. It's too much blood. Too much blood.
What's he look like? What's he look like? Is he dressed like?
So he's I don't know. He's dressed so he's absolutely dressed just fucking Metric. If I imagine Metric is wearing, I didn't get this, but I imagine Metric's wearing some sort of tactical type clothing and shit that.
Metric's especially going into an unknown situation, probably has a very light tactical gear with very light body armor on.
Yeah, so he's dressed exactly like Metric, right? But a bigger guy. Completely no, actually it's Hulk Hogan. So he looks just like Hulk Hogan from Thunder in Paradise.
I'm like, Hulkster, you all right?
And he's like, no, brother.
I just want to let you know, if it looks like Hulk Hogan from Thunder in Paradise, then messing with him is like a roll of the dice.
And he just keeps being too much blood. There's too much. There's so much blood, brother.
And then Barry's, hey man, you gonna be all right? What's going? What? Too much blood. Where the hell is everybody else? What's going on here?
Yeah, and he grabs your shoulders and he goes, "They're all fucking dead, man. They're all dead." Give me another fear roll.
I was just gonna take an auto stress because somebody just screamed in my face, but all right. Nah, it's success. I'm good.
So let's and then at that moment you hear what the fuck from on the deck. We'll go back to Eddie and Metric, right? Or Edie opens up the door to see Metric stabbing this zombie kebab, we can call it the zombie kebab, one of them in the head, but they're now just in closer quarters with Metric and just like trying to get him. So you have to do something now, or else he's gonna get got.
Yeah, so I continue that exact same kind of like disbelief. I'm just like, are you kidding me? What? And I'm gonna continue like just that string as I grab the closest blunt object, like a fire extinguisher or any kind of like power brick or something, like, and I just like take it up and I try to beam it in the head.
All right. So let's see. Roll your attack, and then we're just gonna say this is gonna do damage as
I fail.
We'll say. All right. So not only do you, so we don't even have to figure out what the damage is. Let's see. Hold on. All right. So not only do you not hit it, but you also slip in the gore and the blood that they kind of trail around with them. Also, they're soaking wet, and you figured this out now and slipped on.
Ugh.
So now you're kind of and again they're cumbersome because they're skewered together, right? So now you're kind of like laying in this like wet sea gore on the ground, while also not having made the attack. I give me just a second, guys.
Cool. In the meantime, if anybody was wondering why Thunder in Paradise, the SNES game, was canceled in 1994, it may have been for quality reasons, but it also could have been because the TV show was canceled also for quality reasons.
Listen, I don't know what show they were watching, but the show I was watching deserved to be on forever.
I watch that show every week.
Actually, I think we've been playing for about an hour. I think it would be a good time to get up and take a quick break, stretch, move your legs and stuff like that. People who were watching, if you've been sitting down for this past hour, get up, go take a break or whatever. Tony,
if you want, I just dropped a link to the Thunder in Paradise intro into the chat over on Twitch. So if you're not watching on Twitch, hop over there. If you are watching on Twitch, that link is not a spam link that I know of. I just copied it. I didn't look at it because we're on stream. But it's from the YouTubes, and it's the Thunder in Paradise intro, which is about as long as we're going to be on break. We're going to be back in just about 5 minutes to play some more Dive.
All right. Sick.
Welcome back to Plus One EXP, where we're playing Dive, Hulk Hogan's preferred underwater RPG, according to YouTube. Hulk Hogan, who, if after listening to the Thunder in Paradise intro, that was him singing, it's not that he won't go to hell because the devil is afraid of him. He won't go to hell because he's obviously going to be singing in God's choir. None of that has anything to do with the actual game, which is powered by the Mothership engine, but I'm going to hand it back over to Jeremy to take us back into the horrific Perdido oil platform.
Which is probably pretty horrific in real life, but it's even worse tonight. Yeah. So, on the half submerged, or the 3/4 of the, or 2/3 of the way submerged Perdido oil platform, the two of you are about to get got by zombie kebabs, and Barry had heard your exclamations. And as this man is shaking him, saying, everybody is dead. What do you mean? And you also see what looks like a pretty thick file over on the table or the counter nearby. It looks like it's open. Some of the papers are kind of spread around. But this guy doesn't seem to be trying to hurt you. He's just freaking out.
Yeah, so like I'm just trying to get him calm down. Like, tell me more. Can I subscribe to your newsletter, please?
So you well, actually, let's make this more interesting, right? Let's roll an intellect. If you have any first aid or anything like that, you can try that to calm him down. But he may or may not calm down.
No, he's not. Not on a 91.
No. Okay, so instead of calming down, he let's see, how bad do we want him to flip out? Really bad, right? Nothing really bad has happened yet.
I want him to, as the parlance is, Hulk out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, what do you mean, brother? Everybody's fucking dead. What do you mean? What happened? And he lurches forward, and he's going to try to attack you. He's going to try to grab you by the neck. And he succeeds in grabbing you by the neck. I need a body save.
But add my CQC to that, because I can like do the thing with arms.
Well, yeah. As you take 4 damage as he slams you up against the wall, and grabs you by the neck. But I need the body save.
Okay, I got
it. And then you can CQC. Yeah, so he doesn't have a hold of you anymore, but he did knock the wind out of you. You further scatter you further scatter the pages of the dossier as he slams you, and it kind of goes all over the room. You can see in the moment you see like various pictures of like what looks like Mexican shore towns, and then we're gonna go back to Edie and Metric.
These jump cuts, man. These jump cuts.
So
you decided to do this, so
I stabbed this thing. I stabbed this thing as I think, with all the weird body parts of animals and creatures and beasts I've ever studied, it seems weird. I've never encountered anything like this. He thinks to himself passive aggressively. And but with my training at putting the hurt on things, does it appear I've injured this thing at all by stabbing it in the head with this knife?
Yes, no. I mean, yes, yeah. I mean, you absolutely
the knife went in, but it doesn't seem to be discouraging it at all.
No, it's fucking it up, and it'll fuck it up eventually.
Okay.
Unless you do something more drastic, it's not going to disable it.
So here's my move then. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to rip that harpoon out from the middle of it.
Oh, nice. All right. So this actually deals more damage than this. I actually have damage for this because
it's a good strategy. It's a good strategy.
That perfect. I love it. So because I like it, I'll give you advantage on the roll. What I need is what I need from you is a combat roll.
So
with
you can
advantage.
give me an advantage if you want, but I did a roll 0.
Oh, nice. So you critically succeed. So
I did critically succeed.
We'll double the damage. So a harpoon does more damage on the way out in dive. Harpoons actually do 2d10 damage when removed. So we'll just double that. So we'll go 40 10. And that permanent that's gonna deal. Never mind. That's behind the scenes.
So this would be 32 damage.
All right. So describe how it kills the zombies.
You guys are coming at me, and I whip the knife into one of their foreheads like really quickly, and I like grab the skewer and I just like kick back on it, and my foot actually like caves into the chest of the first one, and then that push like as I pull out, the one in the back falls off before the fragile disintegrating body of the first one like slumps off like chum into the water. Is that thematically appropriate?
Nice, perfect.
Is that okay, Pearl?
I mean, that's okay, except that I'm right underneath it.
Yeah.
So when this happens and all these body parts start sliding off, like there's so much of bad salmon.
Yeah.
Then
give me a fear roll,
basically onto
Pearl.
me.
Give me a fear roll, Pearl, since that's the closest thing. We don't have a gross out. Save, like how grossed out you are, but
like, people talk about whether
I somehow save.
Nice. So you're able. This isn't the grossest thing you've seen in your researching.
How?
And then also, I forgot to ask you. Did I make you take a stress whenever you got that bump on your head?
Yes. Yeah. I'm
okay.
at 3 stress right now.
So you have 3 stress. All right. I forgot to make you take a stress whenever you didn't hit the people with the.
Gotcha. So I'll be at 4.
And I will say, people always debate whether Mothership is an OSR old school Renaissance game or not. And I just think that grossing out is a player skill, not a its answer's not on your character sheet for that.
Yeah. You have to be creative to see how grossed out somebody gets.
I mean, that's really where it's the theater of the mind.
All right. So, all of you, so this gore and everything like that slumps off of these bones of the zombie kebab, pulling out who would have known that would have been the ticket to success? I didn't even.
I'll tell you who, Bartholomew Metric. That's who.
Yeah, Metric came here to do a job, and and by the rules that happened. See, that wasn't even like behind the scenes fudge or anything like that. Wow. By the rules that happened. So anyway, back on the Lightning 45, Hulkamania is trying to get Barry.
Trying to run wild.
Barry needs to do something, or Barry's gonna get got. So real quick, just what is we'll just do this. How much health does Metric have?
Oh, he's got 3 hits. He's got full health.
But how much? What's
3
his
wounds.
What's his health
17.
per wound? 17. Okay, so that's the same thing. I'm just making
he's fighting my mirrored self.
Yeah, just an HP at least.
Except for I'm lean and fast, and this guy's big and strong.
Yeah. So Jert needs to, or Barry needs to do something or get got.
So yeah, Barry's gonna. I mean, this guy was trying to grab my throat, and I powered up, and pushed him off, and probably like pushed him back and stuff. I don't like, you don't pull a weapon unless I intend to use it, but I don't just want to randomly shoot somebody, especially on an oil rig that might be something flammable nearby, and especially because there's this interesting pile of paper on the floor. So,
well, you know what? I don't like to make people roll for things that they're not going to be able to do at all. So I think after he damages you and everything like that, you'd probably be able to get him to calm down.
Yeah, I mean, I got that broomstick. I'll just be like, and I'll hold him back. I'll be like, hey man, what's your fucking deal?
Do you remember WrestleMania 1993, brother? So you get him to calm down, and he sits back down, and he puts his hand in his head, and you can tell he's kind of ashamed of the outburst that he just had, right? But he's still fucking shaking, and he just fucking like points at the dossier, which is now spread all over the cabin of the Lightning 45. If you guys want to come in at any moment, let me know. Pearl and Tony, if you guys want to come in at any given moment during the scene, just let me know, because I think you guys' part is over there.
I'm sure he's fine. We're dealing with the fallout of just having killed a zombie.
So Barry is he's got him calmed down with the broomstick at arm's length. This dossier is kind of spread out before him.
Yeah. Hey man. Yeah. What do you want me to look at? Like, what is it?
So you pick up the dossier, and the dossier contains. Am I saying that right? Is it dossier? It's like one of those words that I've read more than I've heard said aloud. Right?
A packet of information.
It's actually pronounced Dotson.
Dotson.
Dozier. Just go with Dozier.
Dozier. Okay, Dozier. The dossier contains photos of mutilated bodies floating in very similar scenes in what look like Mexican shore towns. The dossier also contains accounts of people walking after dismemberment and worse. All instances were contained by Drill Corp except for the source, which was never determined.
That's weird.
So actually, give me another fear roll after reading the dossier, because you were supposed to be here like on a communications repair job, not a.
That's a 66. Guess what that means?
That's a crit fail. So you're going to take 1d5 stress instead.
Wow.
Oh, and guess how much you got?
5.
Yay! Yeah, you got 5. And it does nothing to do.
You should literally be able to hear like the cartoon shaking a bone sound.
Speaking of Pearl, I think that's a good thing to bring up. Give me a panic roll, please. Roll your panic die after receiving so much, Jert.
Oh, me?
Yeah, after receiving 5 stress all at one time, you're at 7 stress at least.
Mind melting. This is a 10 plus a 5 plus the total stress 8.
Look, y'all have to relax.
So you rolled? Did you panic?
Yeah, I rolled over, right? No, I want to roll high. I want to roll high on the D20.
Yeah, you want to roll high. So
it's almost like I should know this.
Yeah. What's your stress and what did you roll?
It's 8. I rolled 10 over 8. I'm good.
Okay. So you're able to kind of steel yourself in the moment against what you're kind of like this information. You can't figure out what it has in connection with Perdido, but it's here. This guy is here, and he, as you're reading over the dossier, he's kind of like, he's like, we just came here to do a job, man. Can I just take care of whatever it was? We tracked it to here, and it got away from us, man. It got away from us. And then we'll cut there and then go back to the two of you in the aftermath. So there's several rooms surrounding you. Like I said, 3 on each side. You can kind of hear, now that everything's calmed down, you can kind of hear like quiet music from one of the rooms. Yeah, like I said, the mess hall is completely destroyed. If you go and examine the mess hall further, which is just really close. Like I said, only 3 doors on each side, so it's not a very long hall. You see a harpoon stuck into the wall, then
first thing first, the camera angle's kind of over Dr. Edie's shoulder as I go, oh my gosh, you got covered in like I don't know what, and then I like lean down, and it looks like I'm about to give her a hand, but then I just pick my knife up out of the thing's head and wipe it off, and I'm like, oh God, gotta keep clean.
I struggle to my feet, covered in goop is the best way to describe it. Regretting the choice, as anyone in the nebulous time of whenever we are would wear jumpsuits. So I'm just wearing like the drill corps jumpsuit, and it is now deeply stained with just the vilest things. And I put one of my hands through my hair as it kind of like gets that on there too, but it helps me wipe it off. And I look at Metric, and I've lost it. So I'm just kind of like backing up. I'm like, are you insane? Are you crazy? And I'm saying all this as I'm like backing up towards the door. I'm like, we're going now.
Do you hear that?
What? The one good idea you've had today, was that it? Was that what I'm supposed to hear?
Do you hear that music?
Oh my God. And I'm going to walk out that door away from the music and back onto the platform to hopefully run into someone more sensible like Sailor Barry.
I grab the harpoon and start looking for the music. We can flash over to them though.
Well, you open the second door on the left where the music is coming from. You can see on the ground what looks to be like a nearly broken tape deck. And the song is now recognizable. It's playing Deftones' "My Own Summer" in slow motion, though, like super slow motion. If you just YouTube it, if you want to figure out why it shows that.
What was the song again?
It's "My Own Summer."
Wow, that takes me back.
And then on the ground, there's a harpoon with the line cut and a large chunk of some sort of rotting meat attached to it.
Cool. I pick up the tape player.
Edie, you step out onto the platform. You don't find Sailor Barry. You find the rest of the crew. We'll say it's only like it's Jacques Bernard and four other people, four other crew members. And they are at the edge, and you can see that they're like yelling something, and you hear like Miss All Claire. You hear like in French, like they're like you just hear like Celine All Claire or Celine like over and over again. Do you go over there and like see what they're?
Yeah, as I'm walking over, like I'm like waving with my arms, I'm trying to get their attention from whatever they're looking at or dealing with, because clearly it's not more important than the zombified presence that we have dealt with.
Yeah, so and they're absolutely
Jacques'
like
attention.
Yeah, they're like unless you go like so they're not giving you any of they're still focused on the like the rough waters or whatever, the dark.
Yeah, I'm trying to like I'm making my line over there, so like it's like a walk in motion. So in case there is something that would like trigger as I'm doing that can happen. But like I'm mostly just trying to get over there, see what is going on, let someone know that we need to get the hell off of this rock. I've always wanted to say that. And just move into the scene like that.
So you get over to Captain Bernard. And he's screaming Celine into the water, and like onto the like on the comms. And if you all have short range comms, Barry and Metric, if you all have the short range comms on you, you hear some of this communication. Most of it's in French, but and then he notices Edie walk over and. He says, "Where were you? Celine is."
I speak a little French, not me personally, actually, but like my character has to speak a little French to operate within these waters.
Yeah.
Vis-a-vis.
So hold on just a second.
She is going to. Take a very small break as we enjoy.
while Jeremy's gone, what was I going to vamp about last time that I forgot to? Pearl, tell us a little bit more about some of the work that you do.
Okay, so I was a videographer for years, but recently I moved into the tabletop RPG space where I've been trying to I just want to start from where I'm at and kind of like do some small writings and kind of learn around that. So recently I released Problem Passenger with my friend Bones. It is a mini RPG about gremlins on airplanes. It's based on the idea of the old DC-10. There were a lot of infamous plane crashes with that. I kind of got obsessed with like just aviation accidents over this period while I was developing this. And it was only over the course of a month or two. We've got a prototype up right now. I'm just very interested to kind of get my hands around aspects of like the indie gaming space that I haven't really been able to do before. Like I've been able to run them privately, but kind of working into just little modules and everything like that. It's been really fun.
Cool. Well, I dropped a link to Pearl's Itch down in the chat over on Twitch for anybody who's interested to go check out Problem Passenger and give Pearl a follow so you can stay up to date on all that great stuff. Jeremy, welcome back.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
Right.
So,
while you were gone, we refueled the extra boat, and we're just chugging away from the Perdido. Yeah, it's great.
Y'all won the adventure. So, Bernard is talking about. So you understand what he's saying. So he's lost contact with Celine. It looks like she's dived into the water to try to fix the hole in the fuel tank. Again, as one of the engineers, right? This is what the engineers do. They get in the water, they dive, and do welding jobs and stuff like that. And this one required that. And kind of maybe almost as some kind of Deus Ex Machina exists in this universe. As you get over there, as they've lost contact, even in the kind of dark and like moving waters, you see like some bubbles start to come up, and then with the bubbles, the top of the water starts to get bloody. And in a few moments after the water starts to get bloody, and again it's churning, and it's not staying bloody for a long time. It just kind of mixes and kind of dissipates, kind of revealing how massive the ocean is, as this blood bubbles up and just goes away almost instantly, right? And then the buoyancy regulators that are on that you can only assume were on Celine Auclair's dive rig pop up to the top, but not attached to anything. So give me a fear roll as the reality sits in that Celine Auclair might be dead.
Oh, that is a big failure.
All right, so you take an additional stress as you fail to cope with the fact that maybe you've known Miss Auclair for a long time or something like that. Maybe the fact that people are dying around you is just kind of freak you out. Whatever freaks you out, something doesn't do. How are you doing on stress, by the way?
I'm at 5 stress.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, let's just go ahead and do a panic check just for fun. So roll a d20.
Okay.
And Jay, did you make a custom table for this, or is this the normal panic table? What are we looking at here?
So this is the normal panic table since we're on dry land. If they were underwater,
that's when we double up.
There's additional consequences to panicking. And actually, the fun thing is that this actually rooted in somewhat in reality. When people panic whenever they're diving, what I've learned is stuff like they start to remove their equipment and stuff like that, and they might be hundreds of feet, like way too low to surface safely. They'll start removing their equipment as they start to panic. They also go through their oxygen way faster as they start to panic because they're hyperventilating. And sometimes this is all stuff that I found. Sometimes they'll start to lose control of their buoyancy, right? Because they're panicking. They start to I guess there's some sort, and I don't know exactly how the buoyancy works whenever you're diving, but I know that you have control over it while you're diving if you have like a buoyancy regulator, and which has the device has a name, and I have it. It's in the document, but so yeah, you like.
Which means you can get the bends, you can damage yourself, you can
exactly,
get brain. That's cool.
exactly.
But yeah, so cool.
Nice.
Exactly.
To bring it back around, I forgot that my ability is that researchers automatically pass their first panic check. Of
Oh,
the session.
nice, perfect.
Boom.
Perfect. Yeah. Oh, we ruined it. We ruined the good surprise. So you pass your first panic check. Next one won't be so lucky. As you're able to kind of deal with the fact that so you don't cope with it very well, but you're able to steel yourself against panicking further. So let's do just a check in where everybody's at. Jarrett's on the Lightning 45 with the dossier. Metric is in the hab with the Deftones tape and the harpoons. And Edie is with Captain Bernard and the rest of the crew of the Champlain, having just discovered that Celine Auclair is probably dead.
Cool. Fun times. I guess I'll just do a quick sweep of the hab just to make sure there's no more zombies lurking around.
Yeah, so the rest of the stuff that you find is much more mundane. Of course, what else is in there? You could find that. So the first room on the left, there's a like the bunk is completely overturned. Truly Lost is written in blood on the wall. And you find a small bloody shark toy on the ground. As you read Truly Lost, give me a fear roll.
Can I have my military training? I pass.
No.
I pass. I do. I already have +10 on this one.
You and Jert will destroy me one game. We'll play a game one time and
Someday.
No, I passed my fear check.
So, yeah, the rest of the rooms, the other 3 rooms on the other side are, like I said, much more mundane. And then in the mess hall, you do find that harpoon that's stuck in the wall in the mess hall is kind of leaking water as the rain kind of gets into it. And there's a small puddle of water at the bottom of the floor, and there's a degrading photo. You pick it up and look at it, and you can only vaguely make out like a shark fin in the picture.
Cool. Fun times. I take that harpoon with me.
Definitely.
I'm dual wielding harpoons, and it's really not about getting them in. Apparently, it's about getting them out. That's the real trick.
Yeah. Yep. They don't do as much damage going in, but they're way worse going out.
I've been watching Lost again for some reason, just as whatever. And aside from the fact that they all would have died of sepsis within the first 2 weeks there, let's be honest, there are a lot of just like, there's one point where Jack actually cuts a bolt, an air crossbow bolt or something like that.
Spoilers.
But hey, guess what? Also, they all go to heaven at the end. Oh, I really ruined it that time. Yeah, no, there's a lot of yoinking out and not enough gore. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tangent.
We need to reboot Lost. We need a gorier, more hyper-violent version of Lost, please. Well, maybe, you know what? The networks could be watching. Listen, networks, speaking to you directly, what we're asking for is a spooky version of Thunder in Paradise with a new relevant wrestler and a boat. And then a gorier, hyper-violent version of Lost. And then a crossover episode of the 2 that's not canon. That's important. And is canon to some people. To me, it's canon, but not to the fans.
And the 4 of us are going to be the showrunners. So
yeah.
Yeah, what we'd really like is I don't remember what the name of is it like 812 Adam Voss's like little Lost inspired RPG. We want you to underwrite a gritty actual play of that show. We'll make it plenty gory for you. Don't worry.
Yeah. And animators. They're fully animated.
Yeah.
With puppets. Animated puppets.
But I have to insist that my puppet looks like Matthew Fox. It must look like Matthew Fox.
With that permanent stubble that just he's been on the island for 68 days.
I have to insist that my puppet is Matthew Fox's stubble popping out of the face of Pearl's puppet.
Just that's a character. Is the stubble?
The stubble.
It's actually like it's a zoom cut, it's like a smash cut, like to.
I just want to remind you all how good we are at horror. Everybody is fucking shitting bricks right now.
This is the commercial break in the horror. Like this is the ill-timed commercial break in the TV cut version of the horror movie that everybody tuned in for.
I admit that I hadn't brought the chat up, so I have no idea what anyone's reaction is. But like, I hope they understand that I'm just trying to make sure that I get off this goddamn platform.
So, Selena Claire is dead. I'm sure around this point in time, Metric is kind of leaving the Hab unit and kind of seeing the crowd. And maybe Barry is kind of hearing the commotion that's up on the platform, even though it would be on the other side, the whole other side of the platform. But and it's windy and raining and stuff like that, so maybe not, right? But maybe.
There's probably a lot of screaming and yelling.
Yeah, that's what I said. Either way, I don't care.
He's gonna kill us all no matter what.
I mean, it's gonna happen.
As I come out.
I mean, listen, I like when people win as much as anything.
When I come out, I what's going on?
And like Captain Bernard is like, what do you mean? What's going on? I've been screaming over the comms for the past 20 minutes.
Well, I've been dealing with the undead for the last 15.
The undead. There's no such thing as the undead. The only thing that's real is that my best engineer, Celine, is dead.
So when he says that he's been on the comm, is he using like a handheld unit? Is he like holding the comm when he's like talking to people?
Yeah, like a he's wearing like a super captain-y outfit, like white shirt, black pants, like, and it's got like it kind of looks like a cop, real coppy looking.
Like all captains.
Captain-y. I mean, if captains are like the cops of the sea.
They're in charge of sea law.
I mean, if you have a boat, you're the cop. You're the cop of your own boat, right?
Yeah, ACAB, it definitely includes Bernard.
Well, it sucks if you own a boat. You automatically, as soon as you're like out there, you gotta be like, "Fuck, man."
Now I'm the
cop.
cop.
Police.
Well, what are we gonna do about the hole?
I guess we don't know if it's been fixed or not.
So from the point at which we're at on this platform, how many days or how far out are we out from the coast?
So you're not like, I don't think you're like too many days away. But I don't know if you've ever traveled via ocean before. Like, you'll be like, man, we went real far. It's been like 2 hours, and they'll be like, nah, dude, we went 5 miles. Right. Right? Like, sometimes it's fun. I mean, I'm sure this one travels at a good clip, but
it's still like it's like a 6 hour trip, not a day's trip, but far enough out that nothing else is around.
With no fuel, you are absolutely adrift at ocean.
Watch me do it. Actually, it's 24 hours. I looked it up.
There we go.
Because
Perdido
I'm
is
all
20.
fascinated by Perdido now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy, for making me
No
learn shit.
problem. No problem. There's a ton. Once you start getting into the like I said, I was specifically. I don't know if you knew this, but the oil platform. I did not know that the drilling didn't happen right. I thought that they were just like drilling right under there, and then like always drilling. I guess I didn't understand why. I didn't realize either that they weren't like always drilling. That it was just like they open it up. It's like they open it up and then it just fucking pours out. I guess, right?
So, when he says like he's on the con, I'm going to grab that away from him, like from his vest area, and immediately push down into it and just be like, Dr. Bliss, that's right. I'm like, this is Dr. Bliss. Everyone who is still on that boat, get off that boat right the hell now.
Off the Champlain?
Yeah.
I think everybody is off the boat.
Okay, so is everybody then like in the?
Yeah, everybody.
Basically,
is.
I want to get everybody up to a main area of the platform because it's occurred to me as a liability like researcher that like we are in a scenario now where it is down to survival. Like even discounting what we just saw, like we need to find a way off of here immediately, and I don't think it's going to come through trying to patch that boat.
Yeah, and also just as what is it? What's that called? Retcon. Barry also noticed that the Lightning 45 was completely out of fuel. It's not a boat that could handle the distance for a trip back without a refuel.
Yeah. Barry's a sailor. He did. Yeah.
First thing you get on the boat. Well, I think a couple of us need to go down there and check it out. I can watch your back while you check it out, Captain.
Are you suggesting that I put my dive suit on and go check it out?
I suggest we put our dive suits on and we go check it out.
That would be the moment you smash cut to like a really good like walking scene.
So he goes and he gets his I guess because he doesn't believe the undead situation, right? Like he's like just the sharks, and he goes and gets his dive suit, and he's wearing like he's wearing a shark suit, which is like maybe you guys didn't know that he had this, or it's completely not necessary for most applications for what you guys are doing, right? But he has this anyway, and you all get suited up. It takes a few minutes, and then you're in the water. The water is completely dark, and it, like I said, it's constantly churning. You only have well, hold on. Tony, do you want to?
No, just keep on. You keep on going. I'll let you know.
Okay, so you have only the what's within the headlamps that you have on. You can only see anything outside of that is completely dark, and your visibility is completely awful. You can't see more than a few feet in front of you. And again, the water is churning, so you're like even right below the surface where you're at, like looking at the side of the boat, you're just kind of back and forth. And for a moment, it feels as though something behind you. You all get down to the down to where Celine was welding, and it looks like the patch is mostly completely welded shut, right?
I give the captain like the you weld and I'll watch like signal.
Yeah, and he was already kind of ahead of you, right? He already had he has the welder clipped up to and he puts puts his hood down, which I don't know if they have hoods underwater, but I imagine they have to still protect their eyes from the welding arc. And he finishes welding the last part of it, and then Metric feels something brush against his back, kind of like bump, not just a brush, it's more of a bump, right? You get bumped into, because I'm imagining kind of you're behind Bernard, right, as he's welding, right? Kind of watching him weld.
Yeah, I'm letting his body block the intensity of the light from the underwater spark welder, but I'm like at his back.
Exactly, and you get bumped into Captain Bernard as he finishes up the weld, and he turns quickly, and he's hold on a second.
This is totally not a secret conversation between Jeremy and I.
Yeah, I totally don't see any shenanigans. I'm totally not hearing a Discord badoop in the background on someone's line. You gotta turn your notification sounds off, guys.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's somebody else. I'm really busy, so people are constantly contacting me about various.
He's a very popular creator who people are always trying to get in touch with.
Buying and selling, and buying. I get a lot of messages about buying and some messages about selling. So that's what all of these are about. Hold on a second. How do I want to handle this? Give me just a moment to think. I have to think.
that all these buying and selling messages have made you so unsure.
Buying and selling. I'm really.
There's a lot of good deals that you're getting offered right now. What's happening on the surface while the GM thinks about that?
So I definitely know that I am trying to corral as many of the crewmen, the crew as I can, because I have a knowledge of what kind of safety features we had on the Champlain. So I'm trying to think about how many lifeboats we have, what kind of communicators, and then think about where that communications array that we were sent to fix is.
So if we're looking at the Perdido images, there's a part where it's like the highest point. I think that's where it would be. There's a lift up to like this very like tall tower. Who knows if that lift is operational or not.
Well, that sounds like a job for Lorna Dern.
Lorna Dern.
So let's see. This is so difficult. I'm sorry. There's a
big sale on the line.
There's such a big. It's the buying into the stocks and the cryptocurrency has gotten so expensive and low, and buying and the stocks.
What is the market? Is it a bear?
And the business.
Crimson Loon says, "Darn it up."
Wall Street, and stuff like that.
The sharks of Wall Street are so dangerous.
So, let's do it like this. So,
do you want to know what happens as I come back to the surface?
Well, you don't exactly.
Or is there something else that needs to happen in the
Something else happens before then.
Sure.
So you
he finishes up. We touch butts.
So something happens, and then Metric looks, and at the edge of his flashlight, he sees what seems like a massive shark kind of swim into the edge of his light and past him. It's only what you could assume had bumped you into Bernard or Captain Bernard.
I tap the captain's shoulder.
and he turns around and he kind of and I was imagining that you guys had the full face gear on,
Yeah.
right? So you guys are able to speak. So he says, "I finished the weld. Why did you bump me?"
I didn't bump you.
And what do you do after that?
I mean, I start to make my way back to the surface.
Okay. All right. So we cut to you at the top of the surface, and you all hear Captain Bernard in the comms scream, and then it goes silent.
When he screams, did they have like the bubble sound too? Like,
yeah, of course.
And we see bubbles and a blush
Great
of dark
sound.
on dark water at the surface.
So, give me a fear save, Barry and Edie, at the prospect of at the same moment, I'm sure looking extremely like panicked and all that good shit. Metric comes and surfaces and tries
I
to climb out
burst
of
out of the water. I slam onto the edge of the thing and I go, "Did he make it? Did he make it?"
I reel back, but I made my check, so I just keep that stern, stressed face.
Is it
Barry, on the other hand, failed, and he leans forward. Oh,
Yeah, you take an additional stress as your captain of 10 years. Jacques Bernard screams into your into the walkie-talkie that you have. So you all stand at the edge. No captain, as far as you know. You heard a scream. Nobody aims to follow. There's no fuel in either of the boats that are connected to the platform. Your 24-hour ship ride away from Texas, right? And we're talking about a ship that can handle that. You're not a 24-hour dinghy ride. If you get on a dinghy, you're not a 24-hour dinghy ride. It's not a 24-hour kayak ride. This is a 24-hour ship ride.
What if we had the thunder?
Well, the lightning.
The lightning.
I would say that it would only take a few hours off of that if it was fully refueled.
So I actually, while Sailor Barry has been freaking out right here, I'm having my own quiet freak out, and then I just stop and I go, we just can't get in the water. We've got to get that tower up. We've got to get a chopper out here.
yeah. Barry's at 9 stress, by the way. So Barry's just like,
Oh God.
he's starting to blubber a bit. He just like he's not holding it together really well. He's like,
You're in
jumping.
that zone.
And I guess what is it? Is it dark? Is it like nighttime? Like it's right?
I like getting there. Like it was getting to be the evening whenever you. Great, but it's so stormy out that it's almost irrelevant. It's dark. It's dark anyway. No matter
Barry's
what.
starting to like look over his shoulder, like he's not.
Did you tell anybody about the dossier that you had found, or are you keeping that to yourself?
No, I'm keeping that to myself. I don't want him freaking out either. But Barry's like very much like we got to go, and it looks at Edie. Was like yeah.
I don't know that he finished the patch. I think he got pretty close, but it looks like there was something that came out of the water. It banged into us. It banged into it. Either way, the fuel is like 20 feet down underneath the water in Tanker 5. Like I can try to get back down there, but whatever got the captain is still down there.
So we do know that there is a tower that we can get to call for a chopper, right? I mean, Edie knows this.
So
she just said this.
As retcon, as much time I've spent on these rigs, I know that there are various communications arrays that can at least reach mainland and can like do just like SOS and distresses and all that because it's an indiscernible time frame we're playing in. So I'm going to say that we can at least get some kind of distress call out. But first, we're going to have to get up there.
So the other thing is that you're gonna have to get power to the tower, and on top of that, locate the generators for said power to tower, because there's no power being generated here at this present moment.
Okay. You typically need to get a generator going. Diesel.
I'm going to be back in just a couple minutes.
Okay.
Well, this would actually be a.
You want to take another 5-minute break? Sure.
Yeah, we're at the hour, so.
Sure. We'll then take another 5-minute break. We'll be back for Hulk Hogan's and Matthew Fox's favorite underwater horror game, Dive. Right after I find out why is my mouse not working? There we go. Right after a 5-minute break. Take care of yourself, and we'll be right back. And we are back here on Plus One EXP's Roll for Content channel. My name is Tony Vicenda, and we are here playing Matthew Fox's Stubble's favorite underwater RPG, Dive. It is a horror-based RPG based on the Mothership Panic Engine, and we're very good at horror in this RPG. We're also doing a lot of secret
Not
buying and
funny
selling.
at all.
We're doing a lot of secret buying and selling.
serious.
Yeah, and so
It's not funny. It's serious.
No joke names.
No joke names allowed.
I will point out, no one character has a joke name.
Not at all.
Canonically, no character
Not at
does.
all.
Our powers combined, who knows what happens?
Wait, did you just say our powers combined?
Yeah.
See what you did there. Is that a pop culture reference?
That might be a pop culture reference. Do you get that one?
I do. I see a bunch of little circles, and I hear, yeah, I hear the sounds, and there's a dolphin coming our way to save our asses.
There we
shortly,
go.
Right?
There we go. Bartholomew, also known as Metric, is putting a real push on to basically the diesel is the answer to getting out of here. If I can get one or two people to come down underwater with me, we can get down to that tank. We can rope it up. We can get it back up.
Well, Barry's like not keen on that. Barry's like, no, and is agreeing with Edie. And then who all's left of the crew? Just only the captain and Selena are gone, right?
Yeah, but the other people, they keep on talking about like how there's no fucking way that they're getting in. Like you just hear them cursing in French and shit like that.
Look, I mean, we can sit here not having electricity for as long as you want. We can go inside and sleep with the zombies if we want to. That's fine. Or
what are you talking about, zombies, man? What are you talking about?
I mean, I didn't take a pulse, but they only had half a body. They were skewered through with a harpoon to each other, and I hold up the harpoon that's still like dripping like bits of gut off of it. And they didn't die until we bashed their bodies into little bitty bits. And so, I mean, I don't know what you would call them. I mean, apparently I don't have experience with the zombie, even though I have a lot of knowledge about otherworldly things. But that's how I would identify him.
Listen, man, I don't know what drugs you're on, or what you think's a good idea, but the only goddamn way we're getting off this godforsaken rig is if we get to that tower and get that call made and get us a chopper in here. It's right. 24 fucking hours off of here.
And you know what we need to do that? We need power. You know what we need to do? Get power? We need diesel.
We got batteries, man. We got batteries. There's batteries in that 45 right there in that lightning.
So that's when I tear away a piece of the jumpsuit to make like a bandana for my scar on the head, like.
And it is far more fashionably ripped than any jumpsuit has a right to be. I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, tear it from my leg just in case I get bit later. And I say, I am tired of hearing about it. We're getting off this damn rock and we're gonna get to the chopper. And I pick up some kind of like large blunt instrument, like a pipe wrench or like just a big pipe, and I go back over to the doors where we had originally seen like the zombie from, and I just like push them open and like tie, and I'm gonna tie with the other part of my jumpsuit a flashlight onto the pipe. After seeing Bart's good idea.
I'm a big fan of customized flashlight placement.
But I'm just ready to hit some shit and get home.
Yeah, so it looks like you guys have to get into the water to get home, no matter what, though.
Oh, can we?
I mean,
we can't get batteries.
I mean, yeah, I'd say I would love to see this battery idea in place.
I mean, we can. No, you have to get the power. The power on batteries aren't going to be sufficient for getting the communications tower up and running.
We get the batteries out and when we plug them in, and it turns out it just doesn't have the power.
We take the batteries out again. We put them back in the other way, though.
Maybe you try the batteries and it doesn't work at all. Like,
those things don't have the juice we need.
All right, then I'm going to spend my time rigging up the rest and like working through the rest of the communications array to get it ready for when we have gas.
All right, so we'll pause on that for a second. All right, who is going in the fucking water? Somebody's going in the water. Who's going in the water?
I'm always willing to put myself in the water to try to keep people safe.
All right, so Metric's going in the water. Is Barry going in the water?
Is there a harpoon gun that I can get off the boat? Like, I've got harpoons, but I don't have a harpoon gun.
I would say that you would have brought them yourself.
I mean, that makes sense to me. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you absolutely can get back on the Champlain, go get your gear.
Now that we know what's down there, bring out the big guns. And I bring out what is very obviously an illegally modified harpoon gun. Just by looking at it, this is not
also,
the normal harpoon gun.
There is the fun Sea Dog 500, right?
What is the Sea Dog 500?
That has a harpoon attachment.
I thought that's what we called you. Aren't you the Sea Dog 500?
It's like a Mossberg 500, but you can shoot it underwater.
I mean, I'll grab that then.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, so you grab your gear. You stand at the edge of this kind of staircase that leads down below the top deck. Let's see, what did I write here? A narrow staircase leads below the deck. Oily water beats against the platform. As you get under the water, Barry, where you go? Did you suit up in your dive suit and go as well?
I'll begrudgingly go I'll get in my suit.
So
I'm sure we can convince at least one more NPC to come with us.
Absolutely, you do. What's his name? Somebody say a French name.
Henri.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But you have to say that name every time because not saying it. Nope, not gonna try. I don't want to be cultured. So you all descend down into this oily water. Again, not able to see anything outside the outside the halo of your own flashlights. You can see that there's tons of damage to the structure itself as you start to swim through the skeleton of this ancient shit, right? Or not ancient, but older and kind of out of commission platform. As you're kind of making your way through, there's these various pipes and railing that are broken and bent, and kind of like jutting out, and you're swimming for quite a distance, right? And again, everything feels longer and farther underwater and on water, right? What takes you a few minutes underwater might only take you just like a minute, right? Like, or what takes you like 20 or 30 minutes might only take you a few minutes while you're on top. Like, so 100 feet might take double the time underwater, right? And especially trying to be careful. But despite trying to be careful, there's so many of these like jutting out broken pipes and shit like that. And again, the way that it is, it doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't look like an earthquake or some sort of natural disaster did this. It looks like something forcefully broke this shit, right? So give me a body save to avoid any kind of damage to your dive suit.
Here's what I'll go ahead and say. I'm sure that getting blood in this water, probably not a big deal.
Not a big deal at all. Meanwhile, on the top, so give me your body save and then just hold on to the results. And Edie, on top of the tower, you're working on getting the communications infrastructure ready for when the power comes on, so that it can that a distress message can be sent out. You can see the crew on the platform. Some of them have just kind of started to panic. Some of them are freaking the fuck out. But what is happening is the weather is getting significantly worse again. The water starts to get choppy and it starts to lap and literally hit the top of the deck. And as you're sitting from your secured area, you can kind of see this shark fin kind of like move about the area next to the platform where the rest of your crew is. The rest of your crew is sitting and are like where they're at, and they're kind of getting kind of farther away because it looks like the gangplank for the that goes to the Champlain has fallen off into the water, and everything is getting rough, and they can't get back on the boat. And they're kind of like panicking and trying to figure out a way, and you're kind of witnessing this, and the shark fin comes back by, and then it literally jumps out of the water and onto the deck, kind of slides up, and what you see is this massive like 30-foot shark, except for like entire chunks of it are missing. It looks like it's green and rotting, and it leaves this fucking disgusting film as it jumps. It snaps onto two of the members of the crew. I said there was like four, and one of them went with. So there's two out of the three that were there trying to figure out a way back onto the Champlain. Get snatched up by this like filth shark or whatever the fuck it is, right? And just get sliced in half. They're like panicking, right? And they're crawling, and for a moment you swear that their half bodies are crawling away without their legs. And then the shark kind of slides back in again, this putrid filth and gross ooze on the top of the deck. And then you don't have to kind of swear that those half bodies are moving or anything like that, because they're absolutely moving, and it looks like you've caught their attention, and these half bodies start running over on just their legs, and they start to adjust their hands, and they start to try to climb up the tower. First off, give me a whatever one's worse, sanity or fear, whatever one's worse.
Yeah, good, nice one there. Like you snuck one in. It's hard to get me to be like, oh, that's actually unsettling, but you tickled a funny one like that only Resident Evil does for me every now and again when you
walking on hands
with a bit though. I'm like, what the fuck,
For me,
You're welcome.
it was the description of the shark coming out and sliding across the platform, and when it slid, we noticed that the chunks were out of it, and that's before it snaps into anybody.
Yeah.
So I genuinely feel okay with saying I failed that. That's deserved.
All right. So it's getting that time. So I like to ramp everything up whenever it starts to be the time. Whenever the time is happening, I like to ramp everything up. It is the time. You take 5 stress as you fail to cope with seeing two of your crewmates be chomped up and running towards you, and it's just they're gnashing jaws, like just fucking dead eyes running at you, climbing up this, and effortlessly, right? Like as you would. They're only half, right? They got cut in half, so they're not having to carry around as much. It's not like
right. But were they that good to begin with?
Yeah, they were awesome at it, right?
Oh my god, we were like traveling with the most premier climbers.
and they're just climbing up this thing. Give me a panic roll. Roll a d20, and
This is a big failure of panic roll for me.
God.
well, hold on. You're not you're
Oh.
experiencing a whole save your body save. You're under the water.
All right, 15.
15. You rolled a 15 on your d20.
Mhm.
What's your current stress?
My current stress is 10.
All right, so you're safe. You're able to steel yourself, but if you don't do something in a moment, these half zombies are going to reach you, but we will deal with that in a moment. So the two of you just made a body save under the water in this dark kind of corridor. I want to say it's corridor-esque, right? It's not really a corridor because it's
just the way that things wrap around.
Exactly. And that's almost more unsettling than a corridor, right? The fact that there's crevices everywhere, right? There's a place where you could get your hand stuck or your foot stuck everywhere, right? But what was the results of your body saves, guys?
Can I add my cryptozoology to this?
No, absolutely not.
Can I add my
But
diving?
military training or diving.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if I have both?
One of them.
Okay.
I'm not nice.
I've actually never had the ability to have two skills that are kind of inherently complementary like that, so I was just curious.
Yeah. Not today either. You make it?
Oh, failed.
So you fail your body save as one of these jagged kind of jutting out pieces cuts into you. You take 1 damage as small droplets of blood start to kind of enter the water. You continue swimming, and you get down to the bottom. You go deeper and deeper, and you finally get to these fuel tanks. Thank God there are next to the fuel tank where you were planning on getting. You see the 5 fuel tanks. The one that has the fuel that in it is also next to what looks like so you find
Jeremy's got another one of his big sellers on the line.
Yeah, buying and selling. So you find what looks like to be kind of older diesel barrels kind of chained up as well, right? So
I start to motion for people how to undo it and use the face-to-face contact thing to talk to each other and kind of get the folks in position while I watch their backs. When you got seller on the line, you got to pounce.
Buying and selling.
Those crypto bros move quick.
Yeah.
I just bought an NFT of a tiger drawing with sunglasses that's distinctly different from the other tiger drawing with sunglasses because it's algorithmically generated and it's good art and I can sell it.
I do want to point out we're having some good Dern talk in the chat also too. Like Crimson Loon says Dern it up. I say always Dern it up. Then at one point I said stern face or Dern face. And then Gustav says what could go wrong, and I said not a Dern thing.
Oh wow. You are a dad, Tony.
Yeah, advantage.
Advantage on my next roll. Yes.
So what were we doing?
Getting everybody in position to get their stuff
bleeding up. Jarek's bleeding in the shark water, which is
not
a
a
song
problem.
title. It's not a Jarek's bleeding in the shark water. I remember what's happening. So you start to bleed, and you're kind of you don't really take too much mind to it, but because it doesn't really hurt that bad or anything like that. But you at the end of the corridor, it looks like Like you see somebody wearing like you see somebody else, another diver. Yeah, you see another diver and they're coming towards you, and
I got
yeah.
my lamp on, right? The lamp
Yep.
on, and like I yell over comms, Metric, watch out! You're heading to me. You're heading at me kind of quick. Careful! I'm bleeding a little bit here. Careful!
And the diver gets closer and closer, and
Metric doesn't respond at all, by the way.
you see like a broken face mask, right? And you realize that the diver is not only not swimming, they're walking, but it is absolutely Celine Claire. The life has been completely drained from her eyes. Her body looks kind of waterlogged by this point already somehow, and there's a complete chunk taken out of the whole left side of her, and she's you can tell, like, if we're going to describe this cinematically, your single drop of blood, right, had floated through the water, right, and the camera kind of follows this single drop of blood as it floats through the water, and then it gets like inhaled into Celine Claire's like nostril, right, and then she snaps, right, and then starts fucking swimming as fast. But this is also in slow motion because it's underwater, but like just like encumbredly
She's moving normal speed.
but it looks she's just fucking flailing, right? If you don't do something, you're gonna get got.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to swim, sail. I'm a sailor. I'm trying. I have diving experience.
Roll your fear first. Roll your fear roll first.
Okay. That's a 6. No, it's a fail. It's a 65. Luckily, it wasn't a crit fail this time.
All right, and I said I'm ramping it up, so we're getting. Oh, I love the dice tonight. 5 stress and a panic check. Please roll your d20, sir.
5 fucking stress. Okay. And I'm not going to use that panic that I made earlier. It's a little bit better, but no, that's a failure.
What was your panic result?
My panic result was an 8.
All right, so hold on. We have to consult 2 tables here. So you got an 8. Where is the panic table? 8. Loss of confidence. Choose any one of your skills and lose that skill's bonuses, as well as, in addition to, an 8 on the diving. Hyperventilating, you gain an additional stress. Disadvantage on all body saves for the next. I'm not going to bother for the rest of the session.
Yeah,
and your
I'm
oxygen
bleeding out. Like, yeah,
your oxygen is now running out. So we're gonna so yeah, you're hyperventilating. This thing is trying to get you. Just because I like the idea of it, I'm going to say that you and Metric are kind of separate, and you had gotten kind of cornered just because I like the idea of that, right? But he can hear you on your comms because, he has. So Metric, tell me what you want to do, and then after you tell me what you want to do, I'm going to cut back to Edie.
Well, my goal had been to get them each in place, but as I look around, I can hear his face. He's talking about not seeing me, but I'm not anywhere near him. So I work with the other guy to start releasing these chain down tanks.
Yeah, so as you're releasing the chain, actually, let's just get the seawater has kind of rusted these. I don't know if this is accurate. I don't know if this actually happens, but the seawater has rusted these chains kind of solid, right? And like, even though it's just a regular hook, it's pretty tough. Can I get a strength roll from you?
Sure.
You're going to be able to do it. It's just a matter of how long it takes and the consequences of. Yeah. All right.
I rolled a 9.
So you and this what's his name again?
This is Henri.
Henri. Right.
Henri.
You and him, or is that a female's name or a male's name, or does it matter?
I mean, traditionally it's a male's name. We could say that Henri is non-binary though.
Yeah. So you and Henri are loosening this thing. It's taking forever. It's all rusted together, and then like Henri just like stops pulling, right? And you look, and you could like Henri's like arms were like hands were right next to your hands on the chain, but you look and they're just arms attached to the chain, right? Like it pulled for just a moment, and then you look over and just arms are attached to the chain. So give me a fear roll.
41. That's actually fine for. No, I failed that. That's my other one.
All right. So ramping it up, you take 3 stress as. Give me a panic roll.
Are you sure? I haven't taken that much stress so far.
Well, give me a panic roll.
I've got cryptozoology.
Roll that beautiful D20, please.
Where is it at? Where did you go, D20? I can't find it. I guess I don't panic.
You probably only have chits around the.
Oh, I got.
I only have D2s.
I got 9.
You got 19.
9.
So 9 is that over your stress or under?
It's over my stress.
Over you, so you're good. So you're able to steel yourself against the panic, as Henri's arms are the only thing attached. Maybe you're cold. Maybe this is the kind of shit that you like, right?
This is what I'm into. I'm into arms floating on chains underwater. That's
just fucking mayhem, right?
Yeah. Your favorite porn is just video drone.
So you and then it's just arms floating there, right? As you get the barrel unattached, what do you do?
I push them up because I assume that they are chained down, like they were chained down and otherwise would have been floating-ish. Yeah, I just pushed them up.
And they float to the top of the ceiling, but it's absolutely cumbersome to move it through the corridor and everything like that, but absolutely doable at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's where we'll leave you. Edie, you were going to have to do something or get got by the half zombies.
Right. So that I understand the scenario, I'm up here on this part of the tower trying to repair, or at least make sure that the communications array is ready for when we receive fuel that we can run through the generators, right?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Then the 2 that got bit by Zombie Shark were taking their upper bodies and climbing up the frame of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, good news is that even though we didn't go inside, I still have that big pipe with a flashlight connected to it. So my plan is what I like to call the Dern and Burn. And so I'm just going to mount myself here as I work on this. And as they come up, I am going to use the reach on that pipe to just like full on try to like wail on them to like knock them off.
Nice. So you're kind of getting ready until they get close enough to knock off. So give me a combat
not close
roll.
enough to attack me yet, but just like if I can reach them, I'm going to go for it.
Got you. Give me a combat roll.
All right. Ooh, that was not successful.
All right. So not only do you not hit them, right? The one in the closest proximity uses your makeshift bludgeon to climb up and climb closer to you. It jumps onto you not jumps, but grabs hold of your arm, and starts to try to pull you off. You're gonna have to do something, or else get pulled off of the top of the tower here in just a second. Uh, let's see. Barry, you are face to face with Celine Auclair, former self,
the person formerly known
as Celine Auclair.
The engineer formerly known
Engineer,
as
yeah.
Celine Auclair.
And you were thinking about trying to get away, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to like swim up as fast as I like back away, just push away from them as much as I possibly can.
So you're starting to lose oxygen and try to push away from them as fast as you can. So give me a speed roll, please.
You hear now, Barry, where are you? Coming over your headset.
I mean, all y'all hear, oh, fuck me, 88.
Oh, nice.
Luckily, I have an 89 in speed. I don't have an 89 in speed.
So you start swimming at a good clip, right? And you think that you're getting away, right? And your shoulder gets completely pierced by one of these jutting out railings. It completely impales your shoulder, and you get stuck. You take 1 wound's worth of damage, and let's roll on the wound table. All right, so roll 2d10s, please. Oh wait, this is a bleeding injury, right?
Sure.
Roll a d10.
That's a 1.
A 1. You lost lots of blood. Those nearby gain 1 stress.
Suck it goes to Celine.
Celine's stressed out. She should make a panic roll.
So at that moment, Metric, you come around the corner or whatever, I'm in quotes, and you see Barry impaled while Celine is trying to attack him. What would you like to do?
I take aim with the sea dog. And I shoot.
All right, so you take aim. Does it roll your attack?
I don't know if I get any bonuses for spearfishing, ranged weapon, or military training, but I'm making it either way.
Whichever. So
I'm making it either way.
Whichever. Yeah. So you blast a harpoon from the sea dog, and it goes through Celine Auclair and straight into to Barry.
What? How could this happen?
Barry. So roll damage for harpoon.
Was that 2d10?
No, it's only that's pulled out, so it's 1d10.
Oh, it was 4d10 pulled. Oh, no, it was 4d10 pulled out.
What? No, it's 2d10 pulled out. You had a critical.
I had a crit, so it doubled it. Okay.
You criticaled on that.
So it's 2d10, 1d10.
1d10.
I rolled a 9.
I feel like there was a bonus on that too. 1d10 plus something.
Is this a sea dog? Because this is the sea dog. This is the illegally modified.
Yeah, but the harpoon attachment is still as a 1d10. Oh yeah. And we didn't give Barry a body save because he is harpooned, or he's already attached to the wall with a pipe. So now
don't worry, I got her, Barry.
Now you're impaled in 2 different ways. So the zombie is like still like trying to attack Barry, right? As he's impaled through the body with a harpoon. They're now a kebab, and then he's also attached to the wall. I was gonna ask Barry what Barry would want to do, but I think that that I think that Metric would have an opportunity to do something before Barry would be able to.
So this is a harpoon. Is this harpoon on a line?
Yes.
Well, I'm just going to pull it back in then. I got to get this person away from Barry.
Oh, absolutely. So roll your second. Oh shit! And Barry's already taken a wound, right?
Yes, Barry has taken a wound, and Barry's also losing his O2, and he's also bleeding out underwater.
Yeah.
I know we're not super deep, but
is this an attack roll, or is this just a thing that happens since it's
Barry's about?
Just roll the 2d10.
Am I rolling damage or am I rolling?
You're rolling damage.
Okay, so I got 10.
So you take an additional 10 damage as the harpoon gets pulled out of the both of you. The zombie kind of collapses like in a pile behind you all. But also at that exact same moment, right? Like I don't know, you're like, oh, I'm so surprised that I hurt my companion.
Barry, are you okay? Did she hurt you?
Barry, are you okay? Did she hurt you? Oh, you say all that shit. And then at that exact moment,
Barry just responds.
You at that exact moment, you get you feel like a tug right from behind you, and then a massive like a jerk, right? So maybe you look behind you whenever you feel the tug, and then these massive, and you know how like whenever you see like a shark, like a great white's of eye, like mouth open or whatever, like its mouth opens, the skin kind of, the lips kind of move away from the teeth, but the lips and everything like that are kind of like hanging. So it like moves away from the teeth just a little bit, but it's almost kind of exposed anyway. And it chomps down on.
I don't get a save. I don't get anything.
Well, I made an attack roll. So
okay.
Yeah. But did you wear any, like, you just had like regular diving gear, not like shark diving gear? It doesn't matter because this monster does damage in wounds, right? It doesn't do damage in so you take 2 wounds of damage as this thing chomps into you. Also give me a D10 roll.
An 8.
An 8, that's not good.
Wow. I only had 10 options. I didn't really assume any of these were good things. I didn't think it was going to be like, you know what? Turns out it was a dream the whole time. You wake up back at home. It was.
Yeah, you're fine. This was actually
like old Barry and Barry are about to get buried at sea.
So you're not dead, but it is fatal. A major artery is cut, right?
Cool.
Nothing. I don't say anything. Oh wait, this is gore or massive, I think actually. So let's go with that.
Okay.
So your guts just fall out of your.
Well, due to the pressure, they probably don't, but they will once I get back on land.
Yeah,
they're just gonna trail behind me gently for a while.
So you're not dead, but you do have a moment. You do have like a final action. Same thing. How is Barry doing? So Barry is actually not the focus anymore. Barry is not dead. Barry is just impaled on that pipe, right? So what does Barry do?
Barry breathing. He's a sailor and he has dive experience, and he knows that if he moves much further, if he tries to move off this thing, he's gonna open up, bleed out. So Barry's just gonna wait here patiently and succumb.
Well, hold on.
He tries to gurgle. He tries to gurgle.
You can make a body save, and if you make the body save, that's enough oxygen and stuff like that to get back to the stairs for the platform.
No.
No. All right.
No.
So,
Sure.
No.
so,
That's a
So
90.
at the very-
That's a 98.
how much health do you have left, by the way?
So you went through one whole wound because of that last one. I got seven
Yeah,
little
that's-
dots left.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So you run out of oxygen as you get to and then you like pass out like at the bottom of the stairs, right? Like as you start to bleed out. What is your last thing that you do before you die?
Me or Barry?
Both of you, whoever.
We see us side by side on the screen of me floating down below, guts out, these barrels behind me, you on the stairs to the thing. What do we see? What do we see? He's doing this because our names are combined. So what do we see Barry do?
So is it called apoxia? I'm sure someone will check us out.
Hypoxia?
Yeah. So you probably hallucinate just a little bit, right? And hallucinates just for a split second that he actually is on Lost Island and tries to remember the names of the last few crew members from the boat, and recalls that weirdly enough in that show Lost, there were crew members that nobody ever knew their names either. And then expires. Sorry, I had to get away from the horror and bring it back around to
the last thing we see Bartholomew Metric do in his long life of shame is he has to decide at this moment, how he's not going to make it back up, but he can certainly probably still fulfill his contract. And so he turns his last harpoon and he lines it up on as many of these barrels as possible and just tries to shoot a harpoon through all these barrels, causing the diesel to spill out across the water.
Yeah, and you know what too? If you I'm a fan of the way that explosive works in movies.
And
right?
even though diesel doesn't combust until it's at 140 degrees.
Exactly.
We're still going to allow diesel to erupt and set the water on fire above it.
You're shooting it with a shotgun, right?
Yeah,
the harpoon attachment is already spent, right? So so maybe it's what is it? One of those tracer rounds that's on fire or whatever.
Yeah, it's a phosphorescent tracer round that burns
tracer.
hot enough underwater to blow it up. And it shakes the entire superstructure of this thing.
Before we fuck around and talk about that, we still have one more character who is alive. So Edie is kind of actually we're right almost at 11 o'clock. So we're at the final girl, right? Edie is eventually Tony's character is going to try to blow the thing up, right? Maybe, but eventually also they from the stairs comes a fucking shambling Barry, right? And he joins the ranks of the two other zombies, right? And maybe whenever you so that one is trying to pull you down. Right, so let's make one more roll. Let's do an opposed strength roll. I'm going to roll my strength. You're going to roll your strength. Whoever gets the highest without going over their strength is going to win that roll. All right, so I got a 28, so that is a success for me.
So I got a 23, and that is literally as high as I can get for a success.
So let's see. So yeah, I still win because I got a 28 because it's higher. So you're pulled, and you guys saw the Perdido, the high part of that, right? It's pretty high.
It's pretty high.
It's pretty high. So I'm going to roll a D5, right? If I get anything higher than a 1 or a 2, you die. Just so you know, right?
Okay.
It's going to deal 1d5 worth of wounds to you, right? So I'm rolling a d10. I mean, and if I get anything higher than a 1 or a 2, then you die, right? Because the 1 or a 2 is the 1. So I made this dice. So if it betrays you, it was part of my spirit. I meant it.
Oh, I want you to know.
Holy shit! All right, so.
Oh, hold on. I just switched angles. It's a 1.
So, it pulls Edie down. She smacks the ground, right? It does 1 wound worth of damage. Actually, this is blunt. This is a blunt force, or this is gore massive. What your guys' vote?
Blunt force.
Stay out of this one.
Blunt force. Roll a d10, please, as it deals 1 wound worth of damage to you.
Oh, it does 9.
Oh yeah, it kills you. So your spine and your neck is broken as you smack the ground.
And I smack the ground in just such a way that if my perspective were to be taken, you would see Barry just kind of like slumping into the frame, and almost kind of like a high motion, I imagine, like something that's still a little Barry.
And so Zombie Jaws continues to kind of haunt the Perdido. The Lightning 45 continues to be chained, and the Champlain now joins the ranks of the random boats that are chained. The two half zombies kind of shamble around aimlessly, looking for food. Or looking for something to attack, as well as Barry, until another crew of people try to figure this out. The seagulls come and they're picking at Barry and the half zombies as they're out on the deck, and then another crew of people shows up and Barry snaps, and then fade to black.
Bum bum bum. The end? Question mark?
Question mark?
All right.
Will Barry and Patrick and Edie survive? Well,
I mean,
well, the
first
zombies.
of all, I thought I was gonna at least get away with like lighting a cigarette or something.
Right.
Classic Dern style.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's do our reaction roll real quick. Reaction roll is a live stream. Within a live stream, it's our chance to sit down with the creator of a game that we just played and talk to them about our experience playing that game. Today, we are playing Dive. Dive is a Mothership Panic Engine powered game using the new first edition rules that simulates not space horror, but underwater, or for most of our adventure, water adjacent horror. We just visited the Perdido oil platform. No one came home. I was really hoping for a face-off between Metric and Edie at the end, classic Laura Dern and Turnstile, but we didn't get it. We were close.
The dice did not allow for your betrayal.
I think the GM didn't allow for our betrayal, but that's just me. We are playing with their GM, designer of Dive. That's Jeremy Childrey, one of my good buddies. Always a delight to have you on stream, and thank you, PW Shea, for being with us today. Is that a Pacific Northwest Shea? Do I know this Shea? Is this a different Shea? Either way, thank you for being with us. Shays make my favorite type of butter. Let's meet some of the people we played with, but let's start, like I said, with Jeremy. Jeremy, tell people who you are, what you do, but also give us the elevator pitch for Dive.
So my name is Jeremy. I make RPGs, and the elevator pitch for Dive is aquatic horror, set in the aquatic horror tool set for made for use with Mothership, using the Panic Engine. It's just like you said. It's the toolkit that you need if you were running something like the Abyss or Deep Blue Sea underwater. Any of these aquatic or aquatic adjacent type horror movies that you might want to emulate.
Cool.
And I always found I know this is a terrible elevator pitch because it's like 7 minutes long, but I always found that it was like difficult to run like water type adventures, and there wasn't as many resources out there as there are for landlocked shit, right? So you can find a lot of everything else except for water based stuff.
And isn't that the way it is? We have a lot of adventures set on land. We have a good amount of adventures set in space, but we ignore the oceans.
Well, I think this year is kind of changing.
This is the year
right?
for water adventures.
Yeah.
Our good friend David Sherduan did a little gathering of it. Dive was on the list. We've got Lone Archivist's Mothership adventure coming also too, which will be a great pair up with that. You should grab both of them. We got some other ones coming up also, but that's awesome. I can't wait to share some of my thoughts, but let's hear first from our players. Let's go to Pearl first. Pearl, tell people who you are, what you do, where they can find you online, but most importantly, tell us what it was like to play Dive.
So I'm Pearl. You can find me on Twitter and itch at Pearl Snapped, SNAPPED. Longtime GM, and I am just now kind of getting into writing and designing games. It's been a lot of fun. And this is my second time playing Dive. I really like Dive because, as you were saying, we don't often see like the aquatic adventures or the aquatic horror, even though these are kind of like classic genre elements. And there's so many fun things you can do. We had a part in this game where you and Jert were separated, which can happen because the only thing you can see underwater is right there in your line of sight. So you can just be like 2 or 3 foot away from someone, and it can be like you have never, or like you have no idea where they're at. It's a really cool kind of just kind of content to kind of get into because it does give you those elements. You know, it feels lived in a lot of ways, which I really like. And then working through the Mothership Panic mechanic, I think it really does create that kind of tension that draws up this cat in particular. All right, now we're gonna go right down.
It summons foul beasts. Awesome. Do you have any questions you want to ask Jeremy?
What's it like to have me be the only person to make it to the end twice?
It's kind of expected. Females are normally a lot smarter than men when it comes to RPGs. I have no idea why this is, but
it's good. That's good. That's good insight.
Women are generally, if somebody wins, if there's 2 males and 1 female in a game, I can guess the female is gonna probably get the closest to winning.
But even then, that last time, I got to the top. Like we got to the top of this structure, and I finally like pushed out into the water, and it was a deep blue sea moment where I just got swallowed up.
Yeah, you never actually win a game with me. That doesn't like you'll be like I win, and then it's like oh yeah, but then like
3 days later, black arms burst out of your back, and you start tramping through the city as a mindless beast made out of planetary mass.
That never happened in any adventure that I've ever ran. Nobody ever contracted an illness halfway through the adventure, and then it affected them after the adventure was already won.
Can't imagine. And so, awesome. Pearl, if you think of any more questions, feel free. Let us know. I enjoyed all the durning tonight. It was very, very excellent. I love that you brought that energy. Let's hear next from Jert. Jert, tell people who you are, what you do, and what parts of the wider world they can holler into to hopefully summon your spirit.
I'm Jert, and I do stuff in RPG stuff places. I help make games, and I work for companies and edit stuff, and occasionally write stuff, very occasionally. And yeah, I work in RPGs. It's the easiest way to say it. You can find me at on Discord. Most people know me there anyway. Or if you have projects and stuff that you would like me to consider editing, I'm at jertcreator@gmail.com. Or if it's a work thing for Exalted Funeral, you want to pitch a project or just ask me about stuff, it's projects@exaltedfuneral.com. Yeah. I didn't realize it didn't occur to me that because I haven't seen the manuscript yet that Lone's tie break is water based. I mean, it should have been. I'm editing that as well. So I'm doing 2 of the water ones right now. So I'm totally not gonna let them
Just
cross
cornering,
pollinate, right?
cornering the market on water-based adventures.
I mean,
This
yes.
man loves to get wet.
Aren't you doing Pirate Borg too? Are you editing Pirate Borg as well?
No,
Okay.
not right now.
Not yet.
But maybe. I have talked to Luke. About I think we might be doing his fulfillment for his Kickstarter at EF. So I like a lot of what I've seen from Pirate Borg. I've probably seen quite a bit of it too. So yeah. Do you want my opinion on this game?
I want to hear what your thoughts on this game are. I want to know if you have any questions for Jeremy.
All right. I'm supremely stoked. Like for it's, and again, I don't blow smoke, but I was, as people could see my eyes, I was like looking at my other screen. I was like looking up stuff about Perdido. Like it's got me interested in more concepts about water and stuff like that. And I know Jeremy's been doing a bunch of research and shit like that. Now I get to do a bunch of research too, just to make sure we're not like oofing anything. And like Pearl said, it just there's not a lot of water stuff out there that really engages with the tropes in the way of just being out on the water. Like I know there are things, and there's something for every trope somewhere if we just look. But this did it really well. This had me like creeped out, especially because we didn't have a way off of the place. Even though I wanted to go up to the tower and try to summon a helicopter, I cast summon helicopter. No.
I feel like no matter what choices we made, we might have died no matter what.
Yeah,
I mean, that's accurate. I was running the game.
You know how some people are like, the GM advice is don't be adversarial to your players, and Jeremy has never heard that advice ever.
So I like whenever I'm thinking about different types of GMs, I absolutely describe myself as adversarial DM, right? Like I do not have any qualms saying that I'm playing against you, because on my turn, when it's my turn, I'm gonna do bad things to you. So like you try to do bad things to my characters, you kill like 2 of my zombies, dude. Those were my characters. He's
just sore because I keep kicking his ass at Hiroshima Hex.
Oh my gosh, that game is so good.
I'm pretty fucking pissed about this. Just don't go play board games at Jert's house, because him and his girlfriend will fucking just beat the shit out of you at board games for 2 days straight, and then be like, "What, dude? Like, we brought you over here for fun." But anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted.
No.
Do you have any questions, Jert?
No, because I'm gonna get the answer. I get to ask Jeremy questions about this as we're going through the process of getting this sucker whipped into shape. So
awesome.
I'm stoked for it.
I had a blast. It was very interesting to see, like last time when we played Gordonak, like it was like we're going down the road on a thing, and it was like a set, like even though we were moving across the land, it really was kind of an encapsulation of 3 scenes. This time you like really dropped us off in one spot. And so even though they're different games, they're using some of the same kind of conceits. It's the same designer. And so watching this be a little bit more, I think Gordonak did this, just the play style of this one was very much more like you're in the place and you're not going anywhere. So that one was very travel oriented. And kind of some of the opposite feels of we're going to move around a lot and you're going to go places. This one was like, no, you're stuck here. Right. Which is very cool. I thought the GM and I were kind of collaborating until the end when I would die. Apparently I was wrong. I mean, it was close to the end. Yeah, Jeremy was like, somebody has to be the consultant hunter. And I was like, I will. The message was like, you just got to contain it, do whatever you can to like kill everybody and make sure no information about this gets out. And I was like, great. So I just want you guys to know I was the seller online. I know you guys probably were surprised by that, but it was actually me sending Jeremy secret notes.
Whoa! So you almost did your job. You almost did your job. Nobody's going to talk about it.
I almost did my job. And so
You killed Jert for sure.
I killed Jert for sure.
Let's not sugarcoat it. You absolutely killed Jert. It's like Jert was going to live until you harpooned him.
And I killed a bunch of NPCs. But you told me to. Yeah. That's why I don't understand why I was getting in trouble for doing what you told me. Listen,
you didn't get in trouble. You did exactly what you're supposed to do.
Next time Jeremy says betray the party, I'm gonna say okay, but I'm gonna think Jeremy is the party next time, and I'll be secretly messaging everybody else to be like, here's how we're gonna beat Jeremy this time. And so
listen, I can't believe that they didn't turn on you for not knowing why you were around, right? Like why is there a fucking tactical guy on this mission? Like
for fun.
So I don't know. I don't know if this normally happens during this part of it, but like, I have a question for you guys.
Oh yeah, hit it.
Right.
It doesn't, but I should make that a more normal feature.
My question for you all is, did it feel like, besides the fact that it was like zombies and shit like that, did it feel like more of like a real, like a closer to a real situation than say like, well, obviously more than Gordon-Ack than other kind of shit that you've played. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that one of the fun things about a setting like this, especially with some of the ways you described it, like the water churning, like the boat, like I think we oftentimes think about things being lighter in water, which is kind of true and kind of not true. Like a boat crashing into you between yourself and a pylon supporting a thing, like no matter how much lighter that boat is because it's buoyant, it's still going to crush you and kill you, right? Like I think especially early on with like the churning of the water, the lack of visibility, so these pieces, that felt like a very real, like, I'm going to get in. I was expecting that to be a way worse situation. Maybe you just let it not be because I was like, I killed the captain. I killed the captain, guys.
It was going to be a much worse situation, but whenever you messaged me, I was like, okay, like you made rolls and everything. I was like, nah, fuck those rolls. Like, that guy's just disappearing. He's not fucking.
Yeah, like he's like, you feel a bump. I was like, I pushed the captain towards it. Like, was the message I sent him, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm up.
That, yeah.
And so
I feel that like it had that quality to it, that it was more a realistic environment. You know, simply because of the limitations of access and, you know, mobility, that played a lot into it, I think, for me. And also the fact that even though they weren't obstacles, like when we were tying off the ship, you know, moving from one thing to another, when the platform and the ship kind of separated, those kind of environmental interactions that we couldn't account for made it feel like that.
Oh, yeah. That's kind of the thing that scares me about all of this, right? And the kind of thing that inspired me about it was that, like, if you like making an adventure that takes place on a boat or a submarine is really grounded in reality, right? And like the fact that there's real ass monsters in the ocean. There are monsters that are well documented in the ocean, real monsters. You know, like a 20-foot shark isn't something that doesn't exist, right? Like, it exists, right? And they have fucking eaten people, right? Like, you know, this does. There are plenty of great whites out there with some people remains in their stomach right now, you know. So that's one of the things that really, because like a zombie shark, right? That's, you know, that's kind of scary and fun, right? But like, it's also a fucking shark, right? Like when you go and get in the ocean again, you're gonna think about fucking. Oh, also, this was inspired. If you get a chance, this adventure was inspired by a movie called Toxic Shark. It's a movie where this shark is like has like this nozzle on the top of its head, and it sprays like goop, like this toxic goop at people and eats them and shit like that. It's really fucking terrible. It's part of the spooky shark genre. Would, you know, I haven't watched it yet. I'm getting ready to watch Santa Jaws. But yeah, it's inspired by Toxic Shark. Also, the one of the other things I was gonna say, Jarrett, there's a documentary. I can't remember on what. This is for everybody, but there's a documentary called Last Breath. If you really want to get terrified by the ocean, Last Breath is really amazing to get terrified by the ocean. It's about a guy. I can't say too much because it is something that you kind of got to watch, but this guy got trapped under the water at 100 meters on the ocean with no air. Yeah, and you watch it to see what happens, whether or not he lived or died. But it's fucking crazy. Like,
I went and looked. There are 6 underwater RPGs coming out this month. That's like total, and it's David did it, and it's yours, Amanda Lee Frank's 3rd installation in her Bad Boats trilogy, Crushing Depth Apparition. It's a submarine because submarines, according to Amanda, are the worst boats because they're already sunk. LFOSR's Horizon Rising, Alfred Valley's Thousand Empty Lights, which is also Mothership. Matthew Morris is Lilliputian and Ashmia Kerps, so this doesn't actually have Lone Archivists on here, so there's 7 that are going to be dropping.
And that's the ones that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
There might be more.
Maybe more aquatic adventures coming out, and guess what? All of them would benefit from you getting dive. That's the real answer.
That's especially really that is real. Like especially if the Mothership ones that are coming out, those all could be played with no changes to any of it, right? Like you could play it straight up.
Right. I also noticed, Jeremy, that you didn't answer 2 of the questions on the interview that David sent out. So I'm going to ask you those questions right now.
Okay.
What other projects coming out this month are you excited about?
So that Tidebreaker one looks fucking sick. I saw the cover art for it the other day.
So good.
And I love that. Like that's one of the other things that I think is fun about the underwater. I went a little bit darker with the underwater shit, but I think you said it earlier, you kind of think of shit as a little bit brighter, a little bit lighter and everything like that. Right. So I love the idea of like getting fucked up in paradise. That's really amazing to me. Like Fire Festival is hilarious, right? So like just shit like that. Like, and then what else have I seen? I don't know if it's coming out this month, but Joel has a pretty cool one coming out, which is really, really awesome. Now I feel like I'm like oversharing, but Joel has something cool coming out.
Joel's had a lot of cool stuff in the works, so
and then there's so much. It's so hard to
any space ones that you're really excited about that are like up right now in itch.
What is it? Yours, the Void, right? The Void one.
Through the Void. That one about
Through
voids.
the Void. Yeah, the one about space or voids. Yeah. I added my money to the pot so that this thing can get.
I just had a couple more
happening.
purchases today, so I appreciate it.
Yeah. I added my mine was the other day. Dude,
the other day.
I didn't get mine was it was one of the days that you were
pushing hard. You already put your ducats in. Well, I appreciate it either way.
Yeah. But I'll put more ducats if we got to. You know what I mean?
You don't got to. You can just hold on to those ducats till we're actually funding the print run later on.
But yeah, no, and I saw that you played. What was it? What did you play with Through the Void?
We have played two of Eason's. Right? We played the Drain, and then we played the follow-up Meat Grinder with the same crew of people, which is level 0 adventure for Mothership. We're also going to test the ship rules, which is really funny because somebody recommended, we decided to play the Drain because I wanted to run it. Then that was right as Ian was getting ready to release Meat Grinder. And so we talked about it on stream, and then when it released, that same crew came back to run it. And then when MV created the ship rule concept for us, he was like, here's what I think you should run it in. And it's the 3rd installation in that set. So we'll be running all of Ethan's Drain trilogy as part of that. And so we'll get that out sometime soon. And so, but no, we're not here to talk about Through the Void. I was just being a jackass by pulling mine up. But I do want to talk. There is a connection. There is a connection between Through the Void and Dive. You've got some phenomenal artists on this. One of the artists who worked on the game that Through the Void is based on, that we also produced, Down We Go, was Old Raging Barbarian, also known as Simone Tometa. And the art that's right up next to all our faces right now of the shark with the tentacles coming out of its mouth swallowing a dude is Simone's art for anybody out there watching. But you've got some phenomenal artists you brought into this. Tell me about the artist real quick, then we're gonna bounce off.
So far, and I'm gonna be adding people to this potentially based on what kind of fundage we get from the Kickstarter. But so far we got Seriously Ugly. I've got him doing subs, some rendering of the subs. He was the lead artist on Gordonak. I've got Michael Parla, which I found him because he draws not, is it Beast Wars? Is that what I'm thinking of? Fuck, I can't. I'm having like a brain fart. You know, they're the little like anthropomorphic action figures from the 80s that have like a little game thing attached to their front. They do a lot of bootlegs of them.
Battle
Beasts. Yeah,
Battle Beasts.
They do. So he likes to draw Battle Beasts. He drew that Lightning 45. And then we've got Simone, who I've got doing a couple pieces. He did the cover for From the Deepest Trenches, which is the other book that's going along with the Kickstarter, which he shared the image the other day. Which, if you get a chance to look at the socials and stuff like that, it's fucking sweet. I gave the direction that I gave him. What he's like, I asked him for a Leviathan. He said, "What does your Leviathan look like?" I said, "Somewhere between a dinosaur and a shark," and that's what he gave me. It was somewhere between a dinosaur and a shark, right? And then the last one, give me just this. I can remember their last name, but I cannot remember their first name.
That's fine. I just got
Cat Ears is the name. Is their
I've just got the picture of Simone up on the screen next to us so that people can give that horrible beast a look. And like anybody, like it's really easy on Simone's work to pass through it real quick and not notice a lot of the fine details and shading. So if you're watching this later, hop over to Twitter and zoom in on that image because there's some just really cool texturing going on there with some very small details. And the water almost feels kind of like blood splatters as it gets kind of particulated a little bit more. It's very good.
No, we cannot leave. Oh, Tony Tran, Mr. Cat Ears.
Hashtag Team Tony. I'm all about it.
Tony Tran did the cover for Dive, which I have not revealed yet. I think we'll probably wait to see the actual cover until day one on the Kickstarter. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be adding to that roster. We're getting some more art from all of them. And jam pack, you know how I do. I jam pack I put as much as I can and as much as my budget can afford into the book. So awesome.
Well, it's been an absolute blast playing with everybody. Thank you so much, Jert, for coming on. Thank you, Pearl and Jert, as always. Jert, you and I are hanging out next week. We're going to talk to the Zemo folks, people who are doing Zine Month, about getting your project print ready so that when you come to a publisher or a printer, things are already set and ready to go, and they don't have to have you go do a bunch of extra stuff to your game to get it ready to go out the door, and saves you time and saves them time.
How do you do that?
My goal is to hope that we don't have to do the Mixam dance as often.
That's right.
It'll still happen, but I figured at this point it'd be good just to help out a little bit and be like,
shouting out to those people. If you listen to the shit that they have to tell you, you just get it right the first fucking time, and you don't ever have to deal. You don't have to deal with it again. Just, I've watched it too many times where people don't take the advice given to them. Remember, 1/2-inch margins in the middle.
If you enjoy Mothership, want to see some more first edition stuff, we're also playing Hull Breach tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time with a bunch of the creators from the Whole Breach Project. It's an anthology of first edition Mothership adventures, with the lead compiler being Ian Newsom, but we're playing with Ian, Emily, Matt, and Liam's 3 of the contributors. We're going to be playing Vibe. I always want to say Vibe-shetti. I don't know if
Vibe-shetti.
Vibe-shetti.
And you are in for a treat. Vibe-shetti is one of my favorite ones of that comp yet. I'm also editing that one. I'm super excited about it. The concept is that we are the children. We're rich children of socialites, partying our last party at our favorite hangout spot, which is this ship that is also a giant forest. So if you want a prom horror movie thrown into the Mothership world in space, we're playing that. I know that my character is a tennis pro, and I have a holographic training partner as one of my items. His name from, as I decided, is Chip Lovingston, and I said, what exactly does this mean? And Ian said, whatever you want. So I'll be looking up a bunch of dumb tennis stuff to drop in tomorrow as part of my character's way of approaching the world. So come back if you want to see a tennis pro, a prom king, and some other yuckles deal with horror in space tomorrow at 3 o'clock, or subscribe over on YouTube to watch the videos on demand immediately after we're done with all of our streams. Until next time, I don't have a good way to take us off air, so I'm just going to wave at the screen with everybody else until I take us offline. I'm going to switch hands because I always forget to do that. Not Jeremy's game. More clear.